Right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Arsenal Tricks Galaxy podcast. For today, I was off today, so I figured why not do a watch along with my friend Russ, and I guess Tony Tiger hopefully will be joining us soon. So today's event, watch along match wrestling event, will be WCW Bash at the Beach 2000, and Russ so kindly picked this pay-per-view to watch. So Russ, do you mind giving the folks a rundown of what we're about to watch today?
Yeah, Bash of the Beach. Yeah, there's a few things going on. I believe it's I don't know, is it the New Blood or whatever was that thing happening at the time? I can't remember. I think it was, but yeah, it was basically Vince Russo in charge of WCW with Eric Bischoff as his not his partner, but creative as consultant or whatever. Because obviously WCW was dying on his ass at this point in time. WWE was absolutely killing it, and yeah, they had to bring Vince Russo in just to sort of give it a little bit of life. And unfortunately, he was one of the things that probably killed WCW in the end. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this because I like a classic watch along, Alonso. I definitely prefer these to watching and not all the time. The newer stuff's absolutely fine, but I do like watching stuff that when I was a kid was on. Well, not a kid. I mean, I was 18 when this was on, but just when I was a young man,
Right. So
and I knew all the wrestlers as well. I knew all of them. I don't know any of them now, apart from the ones that were wrestling back in the early 2000s.
we have a guest today, Mr.
Well, we do.
Tom.
I've,
Thanks
I
for
better
having us.
put I better put the comments on because I didn't do that last night, and poor old Tom was talking to himself.
Yeah. Hello, Tom. How's it going, pal? One of our wrestling fans that we talked to about the years about wrestling. So Tom, thanks for being here.
Tom
So
is one
yeah,
of our wrestling family.
bless you, Tom. Right. So I think we're talking about like the Millionaires Club, right? Russ, about
Uh,
how Russo had him against New Blood, I believe it was called at the time. You had guys like Sting and Nash, Kevin Nash, and Hulk Hogan, John Dawes Page, wrestling New Blood like Vampiro, led by Jeff Jarrett and Booker T.
yeah, it's
Um,
like Kidman and people like that, and fighting Hulk Hogan. I remember Kidman fighting Hulk Hogan at one point, and yeah, it was just trying to basically get the younger guys over the old guys who they think were holding them back and whatnot. And yeah,
all right,
that's
Russ.
because Alonso actually knows what he's doing, apart from the other guy.
All right,
Don't
Russ.
tell him I said that.
Right. So, you ready, Russ?
Right, what are you watching it on, Alonso?
YouTube as
Good.
well.
So we might get adverts at the same time, hopefully.
All right. So I've started Russ, and we see someone getting some
Three,
balloons.
two, one, go. Right.
Oh,
So I've got some guy getting out. Who is that? Getting
it's
out of a limo.
the cat,
Oh, the
the
cat.
cat, the cat
Ernie,
rooms, right?
Ernie Miller. Yeah, the cat.
Cat
I
Miller.
can't hear what he's saying though. It's very not actually picking up any sound at all. But do we ever know who his driver is, or I guess not.
It looks like a football player, Tom. Russ.
See, this is very nice. This is nice. This is what I want in this country: palm trees, blue sky. We never get that here. Well, who are these
His
guys? This is what's it? Young Dragons or something?
kind side.
No, it's not kind. I'll tell you though, under that the guy with the mask, that is Jamie Noble, I believe.
Dude, cat really was proud of his son. Him and Glacier, right? Wasn't it him and Glacier that was always taken up together?
Yeah. WCW World Title. Yeah, see, I don't. We used to get WCW over here, but it was on. I can't remember. Was it on Bravo? It was that Bravo was a channel we had over here, and they had WCW. I don't know if they're Nitro or Thunder. It was one of the two.
Tom says my comment gets put up straight away. It's just sorcery.
Yeah, it's sorcery compared to last night. Yeah,
So,
and because you're using StreamYard.
StreamYard. It's their first match.
What is the first match? Let's just go into the crowd.
Giovanni. Giovanni hasn't aged a bit, hey Russ?
No, it still sounds the same, doesn't it?
he's like in his 70s, right?
It's got to be in his 60s, I'd imagine.
Like 60s, early 70s.
How long ago was this? 2000.
2000.
25 years ago. Christ. Yeah, he must have been in his 30s then. So he must be coming up 60.
He had a mustache back in the old NWO days. NWA, rather.
Didn't he have a moustache? He was with the WWF for like a year, wasn't he? Oh, it's the Filthy Animals. Here we go. Conan, Disco Inferno, Rey Mysterio without a mask. Brilliant.
That's Nitro Girl, right? The Nitro Girl.
Who's that one?
Tom
Not
says,
Psychosis. What's his name?
who would you?
Juventude.
And that guy was underrated for me, Russ.
I liked Juventude. He was just an idiot, wasn't he? He could never keep himself in check.
Heavy Juice Guerrero. Heavy Juice. So Tom says WCW had an hour on Channel 5 on Friday night. I think Russ was right that Nitro would be on Friday on Trouble and TNT. Interesting. And Tom also says,
Yeah, it was either Trouble Bravo. I'm sure it was on Bravo at some point. I vividly remember watching episodes of Nitro.
Tom says, Miller was in WWE in early 2004 into the Rumble.
Yeah, he had that song, Somebody Call My Mama, wasn't it, before Tyrus or whatever his name was?
Tyrus.
No, what was his name in it? Somebody Call My Mama. Yeah, that was his theme tune before the other guy had it.
Tom also says, ECW was on Bravo.
ECW was on Bravo. Didn't watch ECW. My mum said you're not allowed to watch that. Oh, what Major Guns, my God. Tony would have a field day. Crikey. Doesn't leave much to the imagination.
Who's that, Russ?
Who?
In this action shirt, the tie-dye.
In the tie-dye, that is General Erection. Or Hugh Morris to you.
He more tattoos. Wasn't he a trainer?
He was, but then he was bullying people at the performance center, so he left. He was there for quite a long time, but yeah. I mean, he was a decent. I mean, for a guy his size, he moved very well. He could do pretty much all the moves. Blimey.
Yeah. Management Kathleen, but
So right, who's this? Right, it's General Loco versus General Loco and Juventude. So it's Chavo Guerrero, yeah.
Russ, do you think that Chavo Guerrero should got a bigger push?
not really. He's a very competent wrestler, but he was never gonna be at the level of Eddie. I mean, he can. I don't know if he ever got the Intercontinental title, but that was probably the peak that he could have ever got to. He's a good wrestler. Don't get me wrong. Very good wrestler.
Tom, was maybe you could answer this for us. Was Chavo Guerrero in ECW?
Yeah, he was. I
Okay.
believe so. Yeah. Major Guns, Tyleen back, certainly worth a trip to Google. Yes, absolutely. If you're an ex-hamster.
All right. Chavo Guerrero was very good. He could only have a good match with Ray, which says more about Ray really.
Chavo's he's good for what he is.
Yeah, I think it's always gonna be hard going wrestling through the shadow of Eddie Guerrero. I guess that's what I thought. You know?
When Eddie died, they could have just literally just put something on Chavo, like the Intercontinental title or something. Not the world title, but they could have given him a second best type thing. But obviously, when Eddie died, it was more Rey Mysterio sort of carrying on that legacy.
That mantle, yeah. Which you never know what could happen to us in that time where it was, you know, the hierarchy would have preferred or asked Chavo, you know, and maybe Chavo wasn't up for it.
Yeah, so if Chavo got like a big title win or something, it would have been that would have been nice for him, obviously. I mean, he didn't have to keep a belt for very long. I mean, he could have kept it for a month or so, or. But Chavo's, I just say no. Chavo's, I don't think I've ever seen a terrible Chavo match. But as I say, Juventude's a great wrestler, but he was just an idiot. He would just do drugs and drink and just do all that. He never took it seriously. And he had all the moves and all the talent in the world, and he just never sort of stuck to it. That's why he was always getting canned by all these wrestling companies all the time.
Tom says turning Chavo killed Chavo.
And turning him into a white guy, it killed him.
Classic life.
He was golf. Do you remember that golfer? He was that golfer man that he became.
Yeah.
They basically whited him up, didn't they?
Well, I remember who was it? What's his wife's name? Eddie Guerrero's wife. Vicky Guerrero.
Yeah, Vicky. That's not Chavo's wife.
Yeah, Eddie's wife.
It would have been a good storyline if she was.
That's Eddie's wife. That's Eddie's wife, correct?
Yeah, Cohen White. That was his name when they made him a golfer.
But
he used to come out in a golf cart.
That stable with Edge and Chavo and Vicky Guerrero and who else was in that group? Russ? Kurt Holland and Kurt Hawkins, Zack Ryder were in that little group they had.
When was this?
Gosh, late 2000s.
God.
2008, 9, I think.
Tom will know.
Tom will know, yeah. Tom, what faction was Chavo Guerrero in with Edge?
With Edge.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Bam Neely, God.
That's it, right.
Dolph Ziggler was his caddy. That's amazing.
Zack Ryder, Kurt Hawkins, and Van Neely. Yeah, 2008. I think that helped Trouble become relevant, in that little staple that had. It worked a little bit less. I kind of liked it actually. It was kind of makeshift when they had Edge and Vicky Guerrero with each other.
Hey guys, we've got nothing for you. We'll just put you in a random stable.
Yeah, and then they had retooled Zack Ryder and been doing yeah as a New Jersey, I guess we call it boardwalk guy. It worked, man. And apparently he made
Look at Tom's last comment. That's quite funny.
kind of like was resident that.
It was the only way he could change Vince's mind. Stop fucking about my family and stop a stupid gimmick.
Wow.
Well, Vince McMahon's died multiple times. He died in a car crash, car explosion, if I remember correctly.
That's right. And then they had to he came out the next week, right? Because didn't Eddie die, right?
That was Benoit died, wasn't it? It was
Yeah,
just like it's really bad timing. It's just like, oh, for fuck's sake, man! All that planning and everything, and then it just all goes to complete crap. Oh, I died in a car blew up. Ah, okay, right. Unfortunately, this has happened.
That was that,
They should have had him. They should have had him moving all over the screen like as a ghost or something. just
like Castle goes.
yeah, just like what you could see through him, just walking on the scene.
Oh no. I'm here.
Yeah, I'm here.
God, man.
They could have had a Chris Benoit doing the same thing as well. Oh God.
She's Donald Trump's on TV going to him where he was. Worried. That's right, because wasn't WrestleMania that week where they were about to have that match? They did have that match with Bobby Lashley.
That was the one where it's
Yeah,
Bobby Lashley in a manga. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I wonder if Vince is probably not gonna be, but I wonder if Vince is on the old the old Epstein sort of contact list. He probably thought, no, I'm not into that, pal.
Yeah.
Because obviously he's a rich and famous bloke, he's old Vince, isn't he? So he would have thought if old Mr. Epstein might try to get him onto his good side, he goes, oh, I'm not into that, pal.
Damn it. That's a big darn it.
No chance in hell. I'm getting on that plane.
Vince had to issue a press release because the shareholders were furious that he might have actually died.
Well, it just shows that your shareholders are not interested in your product whatsoever. They would actually think he died on TV.
Fucking hell. Wasn't it May 2006?
Something like that. As well as whenever Benoit died, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's a long time. Fuck, if it's 2006, that's nearly 20 years ago. God's sake, I don't know what's going on. My life is just drifting away.
Oh, too fast.
It's 20 years ago. That's horrendous. Oh, I've got an advert.
Oh, shit.
This match is still going. It's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, it's a shame that Hero 2, aka Hero Juice, can't get his life together, man.
some guy called Juventud.
Didn't it also go by Huey Juice?
Huh?
Huey Juice Roro? Is that his nickname, right? Huey Juice?
Yeah, Hoovy juice. Yeah, because he was just always juiced up all the time, wasn't he?
Oh, Jesus, man.
He was always on something. That's why he always used to get fired, because he was just never in a fit state to. Well, he could perform, but he was just under the influence of something.
Tom says, I think the shareholders and TV execs used to believe that the show was only good when Vince was on it.
Vince was always on it. That's the
Wow.
thing.
Especially during the Vince McMahon Stone Cold rivalry. That was pretty funny.
He must have been on TV constantly from like when I first started watching wrestling. He was like the host of
Broadcasting.
Superstars.
Mm-hmm.
When I first started watching wrestling, like in like 91, 92, he used to like be on Superstars with Mr. Perfect. And like he was always on TV. Always. In some capacity.
Because they do broadcasting stuff.
Yeah, and then he was doing the commentary after that, and then why have they all got masks on? He's wearing a Bill Clinton mask. God, Major Guns, jeez Louise. Tony would have turned his camera off by now. My gosh. Don't get... Definitely ahead of her time. This is a good match for an opener.
Yeah, I think we're this was labeled as a cruiserweight match, Russ?
I assume so. It's well, what WCW used to do is because they realised that if you had the luchadors or the smaller guys wrestle the first match, it got everybody hyped up, because obviously they could put on a quick, fast-paced match, and that kept people engaged. So that's why they always used to put the light heavyweight guys on first.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, these guys never have bad matches, really.
Tom says Barney Hammer, the liaison between UFC Network and WWE, always pushed for Vince to be on TV.
I'm sure she did. I wonder if Vince showed her his hammer.
It's a hammer, pal.
He said it was hammer time. Right, yes, so Chavo has won the light... No, it's not cruiserweight belt, I guess. And they're all going to take Major Guns back and do various things to her, I'd imagine.
Tom says, WCW always had a banger of an opener. Then let the old just join.
No, it's true. They would always have the young guys first. Get the crowd hyped up, get them engaged, and then, as you say, all the old boys would... But that was the thing, though. It's like, at least Vince Russo sort of realised that, these old guys can't stay at the top forever. I mean, like Nash and... not Hogan, but I know Hogan got his second wind when he went back to WWE, but Nash was always limited, and just some of those older guys, they tell Terry Funk knocking around, and you're like, well, nasty boys, and it's just like, these guys are just past it essentially, aren't they? Here we go, Jeff Jarrett, your favourite. Love Jeff Jarrett. I think he's great. I think he's fine.
He's serviceable.
Yeah, he's brought the fat lady with him. You can tell Vince Russo's in charge because Jarrett's like literally top of the pile.
Well, then, the WCW Cruiserweight title 2000 is like the nice guy in prison
Oh
award.
dear.
Is this Nunzio?
No, this is Big Vito, isn't it?
I believe you're right.
Hardcore champion. He was in WWE for a while, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was with the Mafia, the Italian Mafia.
I can't remember what it was called. It was with yeah, what's his name?
Enzo.
Yeah, Nunzio and yeah. Oh, speaking of Terry Funk.
Basically, this is the ECW title probably stole. Oh, MV. I know Jay Jared. He should not be a champion that Russo builds around.
Not really. I mean, as I say, Jeff Jarrett's second, third generation, second generation. But he's just very competent. He never injured anyone or anything.
Wasn't it called FBI, Russ?
That's it, yeah. Full-blooded Italians.
Yeah. I remember Enzo fought The Undertaker on SmackDown.
Oh, God. Norman Smiley
Everyone's favorite Brit.
and Ralphus.
Jay Jarrett should be on the card. He should not be top heel.
No, Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett is basically your intercontinental champion, essentially, isn't he? Or US champion.
Mm-hmm.
He should never have been. Not say he should never have been in the conversation for the world title, but
Isn't Norman Smiley British for us?
yeah, he's English. Yeah, he's from England.
Yeah.
But he works at the Performance Center, I think, for NXT. He's worked there for a long, long time.
Oh wow.
I just loved his wiggle thing. It was so funny.
Every time.
He did go to WWE after WCW closed because I remember watching him in some dark matches. I don't think he ever got a proper.
Push.
Yeah, he was never like part of a brand. But then I think he just sort of wound down and just worked at the Performance Center.
He should be in the top. He should be in the world title combo. But so you go like we should make their top heel. No.
Yeah, but you could argue that in WCW, yes, he's in the world title conversation. But if he was in WWE at this point, there'd be no way he would be in the world title conversation. No way. Instead of Austin, The Rock, Triple H, Undertaker, there's no way he would be. WCW is probably where he was going to win a world title, if anywhere.
So he had 2 stints, right, with WWE, right, Russ?
Huh?
He had 2 stints with
Yeah.
WWE.
2, 3. Well, yeah. So he started in 93, left in 95. Went to WCW in 95, went back to WWE in 96 and left in 99.
Okay.
And then went back to WCW until it ended. Then he created TNA. Smiley's great. He is good. He's just getting Ralphus is just getting beaten up, man. This is so funny. Yeah, no, Norman Smiley's fine. I like him. I like his energy, his wiggle, and he's definitely not a hardcore. But this is another Vince Russo thing because Norman Smiley, you wouldn't put Norman Smiley in a hardcore match or become a hardcore wrestler. That was definitely a Vince Russo decision. But he makes it funny.
Yeah. Jared was for 6 months and 95
It,
over money.
yeah, he walked out on WWE. He took Jesse Road Dogg with him. They both left. And then Jarrett went to WCW, and then I think Road Dogg just went back to WWF because he was in the.
He was in the New Age Outlaws first, and then he became part of DX shortly after that.
No, because he was Jeff Jarrett's
Road Dogg.
roadie, wasn't he?
Yeah, Road.
Then they both left. Jarrett went to WCW, but Road Dogg went back to WWF because he was definitely in the '96 Rumble. So he couldn't. I don't think Road Dogg left WWF for that long.
Yeah, because Road Dogg was in the Royal Rumble in San Antonio, correct?
Yeah, '96. Yeah. So, and after that, he must have joined up with Billy Gunn late '96, early '97, I guess.
And I think it was early '97 because
Yeah.
they had a feud with Cactus Jack and Terry Funk.
Well, yeah, but they first, so they first got together just before Survivor Series '97.
Okay, yeah, because Billy Gunn was part of the Smoking Guns with Bart
Yes.
Gunn.
Yes.
Yeah, and I like that tag team, that's the Smoking Guns.
I
But
didn't
then,
mind them. I thought Bart Gunn was quite a competent wrestler, to be fair.
yeah, so wasn't it where like Bart Gunn's wife cheated on him with Billy Gunn? And then that's how they split up?
I can't remember.
Like that. And then you had the famous Brawl. Brawl. Brawl for All.
Oh, this is ridiculous. Ralphus is just getting the beat kicked out of him. Norman Smiley's just disappeared. Ralphus is literally getting properly beaten up, and he's not even a proper wrestler.
So Thomas says, one thing I give Russo is no one sits in catering. Then
Well, no, there's something for everyone.
Road Dogg was revealed as a real double. And Thomas has always preferred Bart Gunn.
What's going on here? He's literally Ralphus has just been pinned, but like Norman Smiley was just walking from the back, wasn't running or anything while he was being pinned. It's just, I don't know if he misses cue or something. I don't know. This is ridiculous.
The typical Vince Russo shit show.
But this Ralphus has just been literally just beaten up by a guy who I wouldn't really particularly want to bump into in a dark alley. And Norman Smiley's just leisurely walked out while he's being pinned, not ran or anything. That's crazy. I think Bart Gunn was a perfectly fine wrestler. Just, I think the word was bland, probably.
As Russ said, Russo also gives everyone a role.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. If you're earning money, if you've got to basically just say, right, just give someone something to do. They're earning money. What's the point in them not doing anything?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got Thunder and you've got Nitro. But it's like WWE now. I mean, they've got all these wrestlers, and some of them just do absolutely nothing. Or it's the same people on 3 different shows in a week, and you're like, what's the point in this?
Yeah, it's kind of frustrating for us as a wrestling fan, you know. At least for me it is, because there's always wrestlers that you don't see on TV and you want to see, but then, you know, certain wrestlers get put on this high pedestal where they get more airtime.
Goldberg.
Ralphus should not be on TV.
Ralphus is great. I think he's Jericho's personal security.
Russo had originally Russo was allegedly hell bent on booking Elizabeth in matches purely because how much she was getting paid. Wow.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, what's the point in? It's just, as I said with wrestling today, it's like they earn so much money, but they don't. It's just some of them are just not on TV at all. What's the point?
Like Roman Reigns. Ralphus. Ralphus was great as Jericho's personal security, but Jericho is in New York.
I don't know why they didn't take Ralph as to WWF. That would have been amazing.
Oh, Daphne.
Who's this? Oh, Miss Hancock. Do you think this is where Vince saw her and thought, "Oh, I want her dancing on my desk"?
Daphne was brilliant.
This is cool. I like this. So what's this? David Flair versus who?
Daphne? Or Stacy Keibler versus Daphne?
Ralph was turning to Jericho and naturally assuming he was also being signed. No, I thought Ralph was just something to do with the production staff or something. WCW. So he was getting paid by them, but I didn't think he got paid just to be beaten the absolute crap out of by Big Vito.
Yeah, go on, Russ. Come on, Tommy. Come on, dude.
Now, see what's this? I mean, this is ridiculous. What's going on now? I mean, Miss Hancock with David Flair. I mean, I know which one I'd want to marry, and it's not Daphne.
Yeah, Tom, come on, Tom, you're more than welcome to come on, Tom. Do you still have your link?
Well, no, he's just going to pop up out of thin air. Send him the link, Alonso.
I have a messenger. I got confused on what he was talking about, so I sent him the link to this podcast. But he was asking for a link to watch this show on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember whenever David Flair was involved with the triangle with Daphne and Stacy Keibler, and I thought it was hilarious. Oh,
This is ridiculous, man. Oh my god. Must be have privileges being Ric Flair's son, I guess. Only you can do that, mate, because it won't let me post links in the chat.
I wish Daphne, I think, what's her name? She's in White Six. Nikki Cross, I think, takes a lot of what Daphne did for us.
For what?
Her mannerisms, her wrestling style, her technique.
I don't really remember much about her, to be honest.
Daphne?
Daphne, I can't. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, she was like kind of wild. And,
As I say, I don't really remember watching my. I saw bits of WCW at this time. I didn't really take much notice because obviously the quality was sort of going down the drain, and
mhm.
WWE was just so much better to watch. Oh, they've got a cake. I wonder what's going to happen to the cake.
Wasn't it like 87 straight weeks that Nitro beat Raw in ratings?
Yeah, and then wasn't it not when Mankind won the world title? Was that not the first week that they won?
Yeah,
And
because
then after that, I don't think Nitro ever won it again after that.
didn't like
Oh my god, lost their trousers. Oh my god.
didn't like Bischoff. There's not the episode where he said all the results on TV and it backfired.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing, wasn't it? Because he said, "Oh yeah, turnover. Mick Foley's going to win the world title," and 250,000 people turned over to watch WWE because obviously everybody likes Mick Foley. Right, I've got to find my vape.
Okay. Oh, okay. Nitro won the week after Foley won. Crowbar.
We're just watching her strip off.
This is so bad, man.
Oh, it's a wedding cake.
Russ, who's this guy? Is that Crowbar?
Yeah, it's Crowbar. It weren't him and I think him and David Flair were a tag team at some point.
Yeah.
Oh, the cake. That's going to take a while for them to clear up, I would imagine.
Yeah, this is most definitely a Vince Russo production. This is so bad, man. Was it X-Pac and Crowbar part of Team Extreme?
Don't think so. No, I don't think. Team Extreme was the
Something like that.
Hardy Boys, isn't it?
It was something extreme. I don't, as I know, X-Pac, a little bit after the invasion, came up with someone.
X Factor.
Yeah, actually,
And that was with Albert, wasn't it? And Just Incredible.
Just Incredible. I could get you mixed up with Just Incredible and Crowbar for some reason.
One's bald and one's not.
Well, right.
There you go. I'll fix that for you.
Thank you, Russ. Doctor, whatever happened to Scott Hudson and Mark, what's his name?
Mark Madden went to WWE for 5 minutes. I think he was in the first the Buff Bagwell match on WWE with Booker T. He was commentating that with Arn Anderson. And I don't think he was ever called back after that.
Well, hey, Tom.
Hello.
Mr. Tom, I thought you were doing your own show on a Friday.
I was. Well, I am. But obviously, didn't do it this week. There's no story behind it, unfortunately.
Sam not about.
That was basically it. Sam basically let me know last week in advance. He was like, I don't think I'm going to be able to do next Friday. I was like, okay.
Yeah, because I wanted to ask Tom if he's going to do a show so I could do my podcast so we won't intertwine with the podcast time.
Do it a lot earlier in the evening in the UK time, obviously. So hopefully it doesn't actually conflict with anything for anyone. I've gone to an advert.
So have I.
I'm now on the announce table with Jesus Christ. They look like a pair of pricks, don't they?
They've all got Hawaiian shirts on. At least they're sort of getting in the rhythm of the show. The Hawaiian shirts. Yeah, you find apparently that they're going to be talking quite a lot because they're going to have a lot of trouble getting this cake off the mat. So they're going to be talking for a good few minutes, I think.
I'm back on my end.
It's going to be a bit like, I don't know if this will make sense to you guys, but when they would start putting up the steel cage in like the old WWF shows, so then they have to fill the time up with nonsense.
Yeah, they just have to keep talking.
Right.
Yeah, like they'll throw to an interview or something like that. But
because with this lot, because obviously they didn't anticipate it, they're just having to sort of fulfill time while they're trying to clear up this cake, which I don't think they actually do. I think they just turn the covers upside down.
I think you're going to be right, Ross.
Russell, Tom, I have a question. During this era of WCW, particularly Nitro and things there, did Eric Bischoff get desperate into hiring Vince Russo, and where did it all go wrong?
I don't think he had
Bischoff
any
didn't,
choice.
did he? Bischoff didn't. Bischoff
They
was like, he was
fired
told to
him
go
bring
home.
in Russo. Yeah.
Yeah, they told him to go home.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And then when they realised that the Russo thing is not panning out how they expected, correct me if I'm wrong on this, Russ, but then they tried to go, why don't we try just bringing Bischoff back and getting him to work with Russo? And that's when they came up with Millionaires Club and all that. And it was that the nuggets of their ideas were all, there's a thing there that it can work, but then the thing that ultimately doesn't work is you're doing it with Hogan.
Oh, yeah, because he had a lot of control.
Yeah, but also it was a point where Vince McMahon would keep Russo under a tight leash. He wouldn't let him do all this bonkers crap. But with Russo being at WCW, there's no filter. He can just do whatever he likes. Some of it's quite amusing, but most of it is just convoluted and run-ins and basically, yeah.
It's, correct me if I'm wrong here, but it seems like the sort of thing that is absolutely perfect for when you're re-watching it 25 years later. But when you're actually hanging your company on it on a live Monday night, you probably shouldn't do it.
Sorry, Tom. But
Oh,
right
God,
now,
Stasiak and Palumbo. Oh, my God.
Stasiak and Palumbo. Chuck and Stasiak.
Yeah, but I don't understand this because this was strange because it was Stasiak and Palumbo, then it was O'Hare and Palumbo. I don't understand where this sort of they transitioned from one to the other, or why.
Wasn't Stasiak first, Tom?
Yeah, I think.
Why even do anything in WCW in 2000?
Chronic.
You even turned up.
Chronic.
Yeah, I mean, they quickly shift Chronic into like this. They're basically WCW's version of the APA.
Yeah, basically.
But it doesn't work because they're not the APA. Whereas if the Chronic had that gimmick first, and then the APA copied it, APA would look shit in comparison. But they did that. They did it first.
I don't think it's just that. At least sort of Bradshaw and.
It makes sense when you do it with Bradshaw and Farouk.
Yeah, exactly. They've got at least a little bit of personality. These two haven't.
I mean, this is a team that are named after a drug.
Isn't it Brian Adams and what's the other guy's name, Tom?
Yes. Yeah, not summer of '69.
Adam Bomb.
He was Adam Bomb, yeah.
What was his name before? What was he? He was another Mortal Kombat type character.
He was Wrath, if I remember rightly.
Wrath, that's it, yeah.
Wrath.
Also, at the American saying, he was Wrath, man. Wrath.
Have you seen that Atom Bomb recently? He looks exactly the same. He's still a hench now, and this is like 25 years later.
I'd be more shocked at just the fact that he's not dead. He's a wrestler from the 90s, and if he's still alive, I'd be like, congratulations, sir, you're one of the few.
I don't know, actually. You're doing quite well in this. I think Palumbo and Stasiak are still going.
Yeah,
they are like half their age, to be fair.
No, how old was Brian? Well, Crush, I guess. He was only in his early 40s when he died, so he must be late 30s, early 40s here.
Well, he probably didn't die much long after this, though. I know he went to WWE, but he was only there for a cup of coffee.
Yeah, because he was meant to be big mates with the Undertaker. Surely Undertaker said, "Oh, yeah, well, it's just it was a bad match, but it's like you can work on it. It's not like WWE have had worse wrestlers."
Oh, of course I have, but I think it was. I mean, I get his perspective on it, allegedly, where basically they wanted to send him down to whatever they call it, like Heartland Wrestling, like one of their developmental, like the 2001 equivalent of NXT. And they're basically like, we just send you down there for seasoning. He's like, mate, I was at WrestleMania 7. You either think I'm worth being here or I'm not. And they're like, well, we'd lean more towards the fact that you're not.
Yeah, but if you watch this match, if you think that like a year and 18 months later, they couldn't wrestle a match against The Undertaker and Kane, that's like,
I could be wrong here, Russ. I think like if you actually watch the match, you'd probably like if you actually watch it more analytically, it's probably more Kane and The Undertaker's fault than Chronic's fault. But at the end of the day, Chronic weren't in the WWF during the Monday Night Wars. Therefore, who's going to get the blame for it?
Yeah, but it's like you would have thought that Undertaker would have said to Kane, right, these are my mates. I've known him for donkey's years. Can we at least try to put together a half decent match?
So they actually wrestled against each other then. Chronic and Undertaker and Kane, they wrestled after the invasion.
Yeah.
They were in the invite. I think they had one match on SmackDown against Kai and Tai, and then they wrestled the Brothers of Destruction on pay-per-view, and then you never saw them again.
What pay-per-view was that, Russ? Oh, Tom, sorry.
It was Unforgiven 2001. And
wow.
the match itself is notorious because it's literally the wrestling definition of shit to bed.
And that was it, right? From Chronic after that, right?
It wasn't good.
Wow.
It was so bad that even watching it in 2001, a 16-year-old Tom sat there thinking, this isn't very good. And I like anything they put out generally. But that, I was sitting like, I can't even really get myself up. You know, like Tyleen Buck, you get yourself up for Tyleen Buck, but I couldn't get myself up for Undertaker and Kane that night. But still.
They wrestled under Chronic, right? Or is it a different name?
No, it's Chronic.
That was Chronic,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
You need to revisit this, Alonso. You need to see how... Yeah, as I said, it should have been better from everyone involved. It should have been better. They should have at least had like rehearsed it beforehand. They clearly didn't, and it was clearly just
They were like, we're calling it in the ring. It's like, yeah, but you probably should have.
Yeah, you probably need to, because these guys obviously haven't wrestled for, I don't know, 6 months, a year, possibly. It was like when Scott Steiner came back. It was like, yeah, your foot's fucked. It's like, well, that's the thing with Scott Steiner. Why did they sign him then? I couldn't. If he's got a foot problem, don't sign him. Just wait until his foot's healed, or just don't sign him now because it just make him look the utter shits.
I think he had more of he had a Scott Steiner problem more than anything.
Tom, wasn't Brian Adams part of the BSK?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's why I said he was big mates with The Undertaker. You would have thought The Undertaker would go to Kane. Oh, he's my friend. I've known him for years and years and years. Can we just at least try to make him look good? And no one looked good.
My thing with a BSK though, as I just quickly sidetracked from that, I would say it's the 2001 equivalent. The match you're describing, Russ, is the equivalent of basically like the 2001 version of their match in Saudi Arabia when DX wrestled Taker and Kane. In the sense of you all agreed, you should not have turned up. Sean probably deep down thinks, I wish I hadn't taken the money, but you did, and it's there. You can say, I consider my true retirement be WrestleMania 26. Like, well, we all don't because it exists.
Yeah.
I understand why he came out of retirement because I imagine he got a stupid amount of money. But at the same time, it's like, but you have to do that, accepting it's no longer your last match. The one that you actually think is your retirement. But anyway, what was that? They just suck all, don't they? These wrestlers all suck generally. I'll say that as someone that's never wrestled a match in my life outside of the Tom Wrestling Federation in 1994, but still.
I have a question for you guys. We're watching Chuck Palumbo wrestle right now. Who do you think was a better tag team partner for Chuck Palumbo? Was it Billy or was it Sean O'Hare?
I like Sean O'Hare.
I personally think he suits Sean O'Hare better, but obviously wrestling history will tell you that it's Billy because they wrestled at WrestleMania. They had the belts and shit. Like they were a regular feature on television for about 6 months.
That was a weird storyline. Billy and Chuck. Jesus, man.
Yeah, just what can you even say about it? You promoted a gay wedding. You then did the greatest swerve of all time within the gay wedding. Because I will tell you this. I think I know a fair amount about wrestling, enough to sit and have a conversation with you all about it. I did not know that was Eric Bischoff in the makeup, in the prosthetic. I could have looked at that for a million years and never thought that's Eric Bischoff. He did a masterful job. It was probably the greatest work of his fucking life. Like that 10 minutes for him just because I just watched the whole thing and he's so good in it that obviously now it's Eric Bischoff, but in the moment I'm sitting like, that's a weird little man stood there hunched over.
Wow.
But still, was fantastic.
But the thing is, I mean, I definitely preferred Chuck Palumbo and Sean O'Hare's work together. They just seem to be very good.
They look like an actual tag team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they should have kept him as a tag team. They shouldn't have buried him, but then they WWE buried WCW anyway. But
know why they did though, because obviously Bradshaw and Farouk are like, we've got to be part of this, and we've got to show these young boys how to work.
Stasiak, man.
Admittedly, when Ron Simmons is pounding on whichever one, he's going to him basically, I'm the star of the road trip on Saturdays, right?
Yeah.
In Russ Morgan's segment.
Absolutely. I've got to think of something else for tomorrow.
So who plays tomorrow, Tom?
Sorry?
Who plays tomorrow?
Leeds play Bournemouth. I do know that much.
How do you feel about that match, Tom?
There's a late match, isn't there? There's one at 8 o'clock. I think it's Spurs.
Yeah. They've tried making the Saturday late game with clubs that are near each other, I believe. So that's probably another London derby. I don't know exactly off the top of my head, but it probably is. Because obviously the other week you had Chelsea and Brentford and then Fulham and Brentford.
Might have to just double check. Yeah.
Whoever it is, though, is probably not going to be that much distance from Tottenham. Watch Russ now say it's bloody Newcastle.
Yeah, it's Sunderland. No, I'm joking. No, it's Wolves. So it's 100 miles.
Not an ideal trip, I'd imagine. Especially not if they get absolutely fucked by Spurs. Which I'm without saying no, but is well within the realm of possibility.
Yeah, Wolves are terrible at the moment.
They lost to my team, which says a lot.
These matches are going on a lot longer than I thought they would.
Imagine though, because they have to make up for the time of
Kate Gate.
Yeah, their production is so much worse than WWF.
At this point,
it's not even remotely close.
Alonso, what did you think of Sean Stasiak?
I thought that WCW
just to throw you a curveball.
Give him a big push.
Do you know Dad was a champion?
Yeah, his dad was.
Yes, Stan the Man Stasiak was the WWF champion for about
WWF champion.
Yeah, that's true.
What year was this, Russ?
Late 70s, wasn't it? Something?
Yeah, it was in the mid to late 70s. Because
But
they would,
yeah.
if I remember rightly, because they would never, obviously, it wasn't a done thing in those days. You didn't have baby faces beat baby faces to win the belt. So they would never have Pedro Morales beat Bruno Sammartino in a match with loads of viewers because they're both really popular, because you didn't want to harm the other by not having the other person look like a villain. So then they'd basically have a villain beat Bruno Sammartino, and then 20 days later, then you'd have Pedro Morales beat him. Nowadays, you literally just have them all in triple threat match or something like that. But obviously that wasn't a thing in 1975.
That's what they should have done.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me, what was the first triple threat match that you know of?
Off the top of my recollection, first triple threat match they ever did in WWF would have been, I believe it's Brett versus Shawn versus Sid. I think they did it in a house show in Toronto, something like that. They've got footage of it, like on WWE Network. It's the only reason I know it happened. But the actual first one on TV, I think it was Owen versus Triple H versus Goldust on Raw.
For the Intercontinental belt, right?
But in '97, it was a couple of months after the Brett Shawn Sid one. But I think ECW were doing it a couple of years before, to be fair. But of course they were. WWF never invent anything.
Was that match between Owen Hart, Triple H, and Goldust? Was that for the Intercontinental belt?
Yep.
Okay.
I believe that's right, and I think Owen won.
That's right. So that was before DX, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
A couple of months before.
It was when Hunter was in the doghouse.
If I remember rightly, Hunter was about to win the King of the Ring.
Yeah, that never happened.
No, yeah, so it's the year that actually did happen, to be fair. But obviously by then they'd already decided, actually, we're gonna do nothing with your win. It's only in hindsight that they then turn around and go, oh yeah, this set Triple H on the path to actually become the greatest wrestler that ever lived.
Wait, is that when he got in trouble?
Sorry, Rolando?
No, he got in trouble when the Click left, didn't he?
Yeah, 96.
Oh, right, okay.
So basically, they couldn't punish Shawn Michaels, so they had to punish someone. So they punished Triple H, because obviously Nash, Hall, and the Kid all jumped ship, didn't they? So
the best part of it is like it's more like, of course, the other wrestlers, the boys had to see that someone was being punished for Shawn's behaviour. And it's like, yeah, but why?
That's a hell of a finishing move. Sorry.
So Chronic won this match, aka Brian Adams and Ironbomb.
Is the Cat Miller the general manager or something?
Yeah.
Sorry, he's commissioner, isn't he? Sorry, I don't know why I said that.
Commissioner.
Yeah, sorry, cut you off, Tom. Yeah, so it was like, yeah.
I can't
So
remember what I was saying. I was probably waffling.
yeah, because you couldn't punish Shawn Michaels, so they had to punish Triple H instead.
Yeah. And it's the greatest happy accident they've ever landed on, because obviously if that never happened, because you are not making money with Hunter versus Shawn Michaels all summer. I'm sure the matches would be fine, but the fact that you wouldn't have had the rise of Steve Austin without it. Because if Hunter's not punished by not winning the King of the Ring, Steve Austin doesn't win the King of the Ring.
True.
Wow. And the WWF, the fuckers that they are, will sit there and go, oh yeah, but when he won it and then we shot him to the moon immediately and Austin 316 signs were on Raw the next night. That's not true. Not true at all. They shot him so much to the moon that he was on the pre-show of SummerSlam '96. He beat Yokozuna, and I remember that only vividly because the rope broke because of how fat Yokozuna was. It's one of the greatest 2-minute matches you'll ever see. because he just basically slaughters Steve Austin for 2 minutes, then falls off the bonsai drop and gets pinned. Austin wins the match without any fucking offense at all. It's incredible. It's the best night of work he'd ever have. That's not true, actually, because obviously being flattened by Yokozuna's, you've probably had better nights. But
is Jamie Noble part of these young dragons or whatever?
Yeah, I believe that's correct.
He's the one under the mask, clearly.
Yeah, because I mean, self-explanatory why you'd put him under a mask in a stable called the Young Dragons, or Young with a J, obviously, because poor literacy is cool.
Because they're from the Orient.
Yeah. One of my favourite bits of racism in wrestling is how you can never say anyone's from Japan or China or anything. Yeah, they have to be from the Orient.
The Orient Express, man.
Yeah, it's not the Japanese Express.
Yeah. And as I say to Sam every week, there are just staples in wrestling that to outside of it just seems absolutely mental. But like we're saying, you can't say they're from China. You have to say the Orient. And everyone just doesn't think twice about it. Well, it's from the Orient. And you know what they mean. You know they mean they're Chinese. Or they're cut through artists or whatever. But still, it's the Orient, man. It's the Orient.
Positively Canyon. Oh, wow.
And Booker T.
Booker T. Booker's going to be fighting again later.
Booker T's about to have the greatest night of his life, and I'm not talking about the fact he's probably just met Sharmell Sullivan.
No, the greatest night of his life is when he picked the box and the photo of Scott Hall fell out of it.
Oh, yeah, my apologies, guys. I need to get my facts right. You are right, Russ. Because winning Scott Hall's photograph in a frame, in a fancy frame and everything, and it's the look on his face sells the entire thing. The look, if a face, I don't think a human face has ever said the word fuck this company more than the look on Booker T's face when he's holding the picture up to the camera, and he's literally just like, what the fuck am I doing my Monday nights?
But it's just like, why couldn't you get a box strong enough to hold the belt in? Because the belt fell out of it, and you're like, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. And in hindsight, it's obvious the winner of that match was actually whoever the referee was, probably Nick.
Yeah, the ref one. Yes, on the world champion.
Won the belt. But saying that, we're talking about a time where Vince Russo also won the belt just because he got knocked out of a cage. Things like that. I think Goldberg speared him through the cage at the last second when Booker T was about to walk out. And it was like, well, under the rules of wrestling, I don't need to be a fucking expert to sit there and go, well, Vince Russo's the champion. And they're like, oh, join us next week to find out the official ruling. It's like, I don't have to wait till next week. I've watched wrestling for more than 45 seconds in my life. Vince Russo's the champion.
Wait, was this before that meeting he had with all the wrestlers?
No, this happens after that because Vince Russo's basically not putting. I don't even think Vince Russo's on camera at this point until tonight.
Until tonight, yeah.
Because obviously the backstage things.
The whole meeting takes place in April, right? 2000, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I think I could be totally wrong. He may have ended up on Nitro before this, but I do think he made a concerted effort to. No, I am wrong.
People would walk in and he would speak to them, but he would never be on camera.
Yeah, and then I think that the only reason they stopped that was when they actually had him and Bischoff come out on camera, and then that's when they did the Millionaires Club because they vacated all the titles.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that happening now? Like for example, WWE has got 80 years of history, and they just turned up like, John, you know you're 17-time world champion. Not anymore, mate. The belts don't exist.
Sid was quite unhappy when that happened.
Oh, you're fucking right as well. He probably more had the look of, like, you're really doing this, okay?
What book is that? What book's he got?
Who do you think?
Noted world scholar. Sid Vicious. I call him Sid Justice, but
Who did Psycho Sid beat Tom in that to get the belt?
Which time? Which time?
Whenever he got the Billionaires Club stuff.
If I remember right, and I don't really have like the world's greatest extensive knowledge on WCW, but I do believe he was at one point awarded the belt because WCW left. Chris Benoit left for the WWF.
Yeah, because he got beaten in the the tournament the day before. But then I'm sure he beat Kevin Nash for it as well.
Yeah.
So that's when they turned to the Radicals, right?
That's when they left.
Okay.
Exactly right.
Yeah, so Chris Benoit won the title the night before in the tournament, and then he left. They all left the day after.
Yeah. What I think they actually did, if I remember, silly as it sounds, they filmed part of the match. It just happened to luck out this way. They did a thing where Sid's leg was outside the ring during the tap out. So then they managed to be able to claim that because his leg was outside the apron, it shouldn't have been a tap out, which is technically true, but within the bullshit rules of wrestling. Then at the same time, it just enabled WCW to sit and go, well, Benoit didn't win. It's like, but then why did you end your show with Benoit winning the belt? If that wasn't actually meant to be the finish.
I'm sure it says in the records that Benoit did win the WCW title. I'm pretty sure it does, yeah.
No, you're right. No, Rush, you are right. Because he won it and then literally threw the belt at Sullivan. And then went, but he didn't really tell him, but he obviously just turned up on Monday Night Raw.
I've got your wife, I don't need your belt.
Yeah, but I bet she probably wished her.
Oh no, don't you dare. Don't go there.
That's outrageous. I shouldn't go there. But she's a good woman.
Canyon's dead now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's committed suicide, unfortunately.
Yeah.
There's a documentary about him on Vice, I think it was, and it was brutal. It was sad.
I remember when they had a giant box brought into the ring. You know what I'm going to say. And he comes out dressed as Boy George and he starts singing, do you want to hurt me? Or whatever it is.
Right.
Basically, the rationale for doing the segment, if I remember rightly, was basically Vince McMahon said, well, he'll come out, sing the song, and then take her or beat him up because America hates gays.
That was brutal, man. and then didn't both Bagwell call Undertaker as he was getting the Hall of Fame induction? He got mad because of what happened to Canyon. I'm like, jeez, man. You haven't kind of learned with that one, huh?
I don't know. I can't remember. Buff Bagwell hasn't got a leg to stand on.
Yeah.
I just find that like the old dynamic of wrestling, like it's such a homophobic industry, but by the nature of what it is, it's like, why are you all so homophobic when you're all just touching each other all the time? Like, there's no other way I can describe it. It's like what you are doing is inherently homosexual. I'm not against it. All I'm pointing at is just loads of people within it that are against it. It's like, but what you are doing as an occupation is inherently massively gay.
Yeah, it was a lot of thing when Goldust first started doing his shtick.
My favourite Goldust segment, as silly as this will sound, is basically when Jerry Lawler, they're in Alabama, and Jerry Lawler cuts a promo where he manages to be simultaneously massively homophobic and imply that Goldust's child is not his own, and that half the roster have had a crack at her. in the 30-second interview segment, to the point where even Vince McMahon who deep down probably agrees with him, is just sitting there going like, "Oh my God, this is disgusting, Jerry." And it's like, but everyone, they're in Alabama. It's really key to say the location, because for every sentence of it, when he let's just say he called Goldust a flaming bundle of sticks. Let's just say, if you know what that is actually a terminology for, but he called it. It rhymes with hag. A flaming hag. Let's just say, and everyone in Alabama in that building cheered the sentence. And I'm sitting there thinking, he's coming out with something inherently is massively heelish, but everyone in that building is going to cheer him like the baby. But even better, Russ, although Jerry Lawler went on to win against Goldust on that very show. Like, it's the sort of promo you give if then Goldust then goes on to beat Jerry Lawler, and like he defends the honour of his daughter, who Jerry Lawler has just inherently given away to half the roster. Jerry Lawler beat him. And everyone sorry, I shouldn't be saying all this, but still.
It's a shame no one's ever going to see this. It's one for the record books.
God, dude.
Yeah, anyway, Booker T is fighting Positively Canyon.
That's some great sports entertainment, boy.
I've quite enjoyed this pay-per-view, actually. Everyone gives it as a load of crap, but it's quite amusing.
I do believe there's like two halves to the show. It's basically until Jarrett versus Hogan, and then everything after is dross.
No, you get the best bit, didn't you, at the end, I guess.
That's true, but at the same time, I believe we are meant to get Goldberg versus Nash on this show, aren't we?
Yes, we are. For Scott Hall's contract, apparently.
And like, they have no intention of bringing Scott Hall back, which I find the most hilarious about it. I mean, they shouldn't.
Well, no, I think the issue was, I think I heard it before. It was apparently Scott Hall was diddling some Turner executive's daughter or something, and he was cheating on her with some ex-girlfriend or something, and I think that's why Scott Hall has been told to go home, basically.
That doesn't surprise me.
Oh, Jeff Jarrett, here we go. Oh, kabong. There you go. A run-in. Very surprised.
Didn't he took a break? Scott Nash. Until this time.
Scott Hall, so he's not in the company.
Yeah.
He is. He's contracted, but he's not wrestling.
Isn't this one of the rare pay-per-views where Goldberg is heel?
Yes, this is it. Yeah, he turned heel the last pay-per-view.
Yeah, Great American Bash. In don't get me wrong, there's not much the company can do at this point. But you have one star where basically no matter what you do with the guy, everyone loves. And then you manage to do something that they didn't love.
Yeah. But what really makes it weird for me is that did Goldberg only ever win the title once?
Yes.
Just wrestling history would make you think that, all right, Booker T won it 5 times, Kevin Nash won it 4 or 5 times, or even Sid won it 4 or 5 times. You would have thought Goldberg would have won it more than once.
Yeah, but not that it really matters. But I would venture to say that Goldberg's one reign where he basically won every match except for the one where he lost it, compared to the 72. I'll say times he lost it. It's not true to one. It's 4 times between now and when the company goes up, because people forget he actually won it for a 5th time in WWE. So which is what gave rise to him saying 5 times, 5
Yeah.
times, whatever. But, so he lost it multiple times, even within the reign of this company, the time that the company exists, and it ain't got much left at this point anyway. I don't know what I'm watching.
Scott Steiner won it a couple of times, didn't he?
Steiner has it for, I think he holds it for about the final 3 months of the company, and then loses it to Booker T on the final night.
Yeah, he was the longest champion for 2 years or something ridiculous.
Yeah. But Tom, didn't Goldberg have his first belt as U.S.
That's true.
US title?
Yeah, he never lost it. He vacated
it.
Yeah, they just had a tournament for it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Here he goes. This is Scott Steiner. There you go.
Tom, do you remember Kimberly Page was on? This was after she death, right?
She's not on this pay-per-view, I don't think.
Yeah, because she's. I think in real life, Scott Steiner hated that woman. So whenever they did this, I think they did a storyline where basically he might be fine DDP even here, but they were doing a storyline where like he was harassing Kimberly Page. It's like if you remotely knew that he fucking hated her for real, there's no way he's harassing her.
Mm-hmm.
Other than the fact that he wants to beat up Dallas Page because he doesn't like his wife.
That's right. I remember it now. Yeah.
But Jesus Christ, Mike Awesome.
Okay, I want to ask you this question, Tom. And this is about Mike Awesome.
Yep.
How do you feel about his work between WCW and ECW combined?
What I think about Mike Awesome, I think he, like a lot of wrestlers, he's very good at basically doing offense. Because anyone looks good if they're just beating someone up all the time, and he's massive, so he's going to be beating people up most of the time. I'm sure Russ may say similar, but it's easy to do wrestling moves and just look like you're hurting people when you're actually hurting them.
Do you think his work was better on ECW?
Yeah.
Okay.
But again, that's because he's wrestling with a load of psychopaths that they don't really give a fuck that he's hurting them because they're going to hit him back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think Masato Tanaka is the one that springs to mind.
Right.
The match in WWE that they had.
Who's the other guy who wrestled in ECW that was kind of famous?
He wrestled Masato Tanaka, and they basically just famous for just beating the shit out of each other. But it was mainly him beating the shit out of Masato Tanaka more than anything. Like, he'd powerbomb him outside the ring and stuff. But again, it's the sort of thing. It's like, would he let Tanaka powerbomb him outside the ring? Of course he wouldn't, because it bloody hurt.
Wow. I like Mike Awesome for who he was, back then.
So like how we were saying earlier about the Undertaker, like with Chronic and all that. Like, if you hit the Undertaker with a chair, he's going to stick his hand up, and he's right to stick his hand up because it's just very silly to actually let someone hit you in the head with a chair is moronic, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just going to adverts. Just waiting to skip the adverts. Right, so I've got Steiner's got Awesome in the ring, big clothesline.
Did you like Scott Steiner when he was the Steiner Brothers, or did you like him as a single wrestler, wrestling for a championship belt?
Oh no, he's far better as a singles wrestler. That's it's not even close as a comparison. the best thing for his career was bleaching his hair and becoming superstar Billy Graham, basically.
Yeah. That's pretty funny talk.
Well, because when he first turned heel, WCW were calling him Superstar Scott Steiner. And obviously, then that didn't work in the first week. So they went, well, what can we do? And then he come up with Big Papa Pump, and obviously that stuck because it's awesome. But yeah, his character was basically going to be a knockoff of Superstar Billy Graham.
I didn't know that.
It's like it's only if like you watch an old Nitro episode, like the week after it heel turn, the time he turned heel, they were calling him Superstar, and it was like, that's really crap.
Well, he has the same build and the same facial features as Billy Graham.
Exactly, which is why that's what he was going for.
Interesting, Tom. Is that his real life missus?
Sorry, what was that?
Is that his real life? Is that his real life missus?
Who's that?
Ringside.
Isn't that Medasia?
Medasia's not. No, she's not his wife.
Okay.
She's just one of his freaks.
She's a freak. I feel sorry for whenever I see Mike Awesome. I always think that he's really good, and he just never got a chance in WWE.
I got a similar question from Alonzo Barber saying the thing that harms Mike Awesome in the Elves of Wrestling is basically he's mainly known for just beating people up on offense. But anyone can look good if their offense is really good.
Mm-hmm.
But can you take the same offense? Like what's what other way to put it? He's going to powerbomb Masato Tanaka outside the ring on an ECW one night stand, but would he let Masato Tanaka do it to him? He probably shouldn't let him do it to him, but that's probably what does harm him. It also doesn't help when you have Joey Styles on commentary saying during a suicide dive that I'm really upset that he wasn't successful in taking his own life, and then he goes on to actually be very successful at doing the suicide dive without the dive.
Tom, what was Tanaka's backstory, or at least how did he become into WCW, or the ECW rather? Do you know?
I've absolutely no idea. I mean, I don't think it's that elaborate. I just think basically Paul Heyman basically just went around Japan and went, "Do you fancy mutilating yourself for a hot dog and a handshake?"
Hot dog and a handshake, and a Pepsi giver cake.
I love it. Love it. How long we got? Oh wow, we're nearing the halfway point of the pay-per-view, and out has come Ernest the Cat Miller.
Oh, we're not even halfway done yet, Tom.
What time are you at, Alonzo? I'm at 1:24:45.
I'm at 1:24:39.
I'll move it back 10 seconds. I've just seen the suplex.
Me too, yeah.
Fair enough. So, Ernest Miller is there. He looks like a right sausage.
Would you consider this a push from Cat Miller, Tom?
I would say it is because he's in a position where he's going to be on TV every week.
But he came out with Glacier, right? Didn't he come out with Glacier? Is that how he first started out?
Yes, he was. Well, you know, in real life, Ernest the Cat Miller's real job in real life was basically teaching Eric Bischoff's son karate.
Wow. I never knew that, Tom.
It's true. It sounds really silly. Ernest the Cat Miller was the karate teacher of Garrett Bischoff of TNA.
Yeah, but wasn't like DDP? Didn't he live like next door to Bischoff, and that's how he got a job?
That's almost certainly true. Yeah, because a lot of people always thought like the DDP push was because he was Bischoff's mate and neighbour, and unofficially because of the wife swapping parties. Which again, if to be fair, most people wouldn't say no to Kimberly Page or Laurie Bischoff at the time.
So who's Garrett Bischoff's dad then?
Probably the milkman. I'll tell you, it ain't. It's definitely not Sonny Ono. Sonny Ono also got a job literally because he was a salesman who used to go door to door with Eric Bischoff. And they made their own version of Karate Fighters, which they invented themselves and wanted to sell it to a toy company. And then he obviously re-entered Bischoff's mind when Bischoff was in a position to hire him, and then just made him a wrestling manager.
Oh no! Wow.
Didn't he create the selfie or some stupid thing like that?
He's credited, but yeah,
he's credited with being the person who created a selfie or something stupid.
I do know he was the manager of the Ultimate Dragon when he held about 8 championships at one time or something like that.
And that was
I only know that because Mercedes Moné in the AEW's got 8 belts, and they're now comparing, like, is she on the level of the Ultimate Dragon? It's like, she's not.
Wasn't one of them the WWF light heavyweight title or something stupid like that?
Very good, Russ. They basically listed all the belts, and that was the one they would always go, like, she's got the All Japan light heavyweight championship, and then WWF light heavyweight cruiserweight. It's like, what's that? WWF what? Oh, no, not that one.
Right, so this match is just finished, right? He's told him not to use the Steiner recliner, so Steiner uses it.
Immediately using it.
Yes. And he loses the title. That's just fucking...
Has Steiner actually murdered him?
I feel for Mike Awesome because I thought he could have done so much better than this. Not this, obviously. He's been beaten by Scott Steiner, but at least he actually gave him a match.
Is this before or after he goes on to become the fat chick thriller?
No, I think he was just chatting up the lady who was with Jeff Jarrett. So I think he's either just coming off it or just going into it.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
We'll need to ask her which way round it was. But
Medeja looks quite nice though.
Solid citizen, I would say.
Medeja.
You know, she's married to some. I think she's married to some not bodybuilder guy or something.
Not a hornswoggle.
Probably not.
Is Hogan scared of Jarrett? I don't know. We're about to find out, I think.
Politically, no.
I imagine Hogan laughed when it was pitched to maybe wrestling Jarrett on pay-per-view. But,
I think this is they say that this is the night that Tony Schiavone stopped actually giving a shit.
Not surprised. Oh my god, the Kiss Demon's still wrestling, eh?
Kiss Demon? Who's he? Vampiro? Oh, nice.
Who was it, Kiss Demon?
I think it was originally it was Brian Adams the first night they put him in makeup.
And it was a Demon Dale Torborg.
Yep.
Alright, okay.
What I said, yeah.
Are they walking around Narnia or something?
They
Charles
might-
Charles Robinson's being led into the woods.
Little H.
I've got
Little
to
Nate, he
stop
looks exactly the same now. It's ridiculous.
with Vampiro.
No, Little Nate.
Yeah. It's a good little gig he's got. I feel sorry for him because he can't take a day off because he wants to be in the WWE Hall of Fame. So he has to turn up all the time.
Who? The Demon Del Torborg?
No, Little Nate.
I think Charles Robinson will be in the Hall of Fame.
He really should be. But then, to be fair, they have no incentive to put him in it. I'm not saying he shouldn't be. I just mean in the sense of they only put people in their Hall of Fame now because they can get something out of it. It's not actually a real Hall of Fame. Like, you've not actually achieved anything to do it. As awful as that sounds.
Well, yeah, it's just for merchandising or whatever. If they want to bring an action figure out of you, or
Yeah.
But yeah, some people do deserve to be in it, though. You know, Flair and Hogan and all those people, clearly.
Yep. Like, I'm not against Stephanie McMahon being in it. She absolutely should be in it. She should be in it in the way that all the McMahon should be in it. Because they're such a prominent part of the television show for so long. But at the same time, that Stephanie McMahon of 2014 should get punched in the face repeatedly.
Was that by Randy Orton, right, Tom?
I was just sick of the sight of her.
Oh, right, okay.
I'll tell you this, I was just, because she would come out on TV every week for about 2 years and just, whoever the top babyface was that week, she'd just talk down to him and they'd never get to have any come-uppance against her. And it was like, this is terrible.
No, her boobs did get bigger over time, though.
Oh, they're Hall of Fame instantly, of course.
I think it's her voice that just does it for me when she starts screaming. It's just like, oh no.
Her big girl had the same voice for us.
No, it's just her face. When her face contorts, it's just like, oh. I mean, she's a pretty woman. Don't get me wrong. She's. I wouldn't say no, but you know, it's just
tits essentially.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, when she smiles, it's just like, it's just I don't know. Her face contorts into a funny position. I don't.
There's something about her that just doesn't feel genuine.
Yes, definitely.
Like,
but you could say that about all the McMahons, probably.
Oh yeah, 100%. The main thing with her is when she, if she, or what's the example I'm thinking of? When she came out and commentated on the first Women's Royal Rumble, and they talked to her the entire time as if she invented women. They're acting like she's the reason women exist. Let alone that there's a Women's Royal Rumble. It's almost like, thank you, Stephanie, for letting us have women's wrestling. And then the biggest crime is she then sat there and took the adulation as if, yeah, you're right, I did give you women.
Not like the Fabulous Moolah or anyone else. Alundra Blaze or the Trailblazers.
Yeah, like if she was being truly honest, she could have sat there and went, yeah, because of me, you got gravy boat matches on Raw. Gravy bowl matches, sorry.
Yeah, I wasn't against those, to be fair.
I'm not against it either. But in terms of like you presenting serious women's competition, that is not it.
Tom, do you remember this female wrestler named Rockin' Robin?
Yes, I do. He was Jake Roberts' sister.
That's
Jake
right,
the Snake.
Snake brother. That's right. I don't think she was like hurt.
She was the women's champion at WrestleMania 5. Because they didn't have a match for her to do, they got her to sing the national anthem, and she was so bad at it that they cut her off the VHS.
Jesus, man. Gotta cut it up, man.
It's like Mean Gene Okerlund sang the national anthem for WrestleMania 1, but obviously they made a point of putting him on the tape because it's Mean Gene, and he was so bad it's funny. She was just so bad, I felt bad for her.
Charles Robinson's earning his money tonight. I'll give him that. He's gone in the swamp. He's got to go all the way back to... I'm sure this was taped prior, but...
Yeah. To be fair, it's 20 years before its time, because we've got a cinematic match in the year 2000.
Wow.
That could be wrong, guys, but that grew old for me very fucking quickly during the pandemic.
That's right, yeah.
No, I know what Vampiro looks like now.
Did Vampiro borrow mist from a great Mara?
Charles Robinson's just had to drag that lady off camera.
This is like bad community theatre. Otherwise,
a cinder block in his head.
Of NXT.
Yeah.
Tom, where is this compared to Vampiro versus Sting?
Didn't they have a match where one of them had to be on fire? It was like the Inferno match, but done far worse.
Yeah, they had the guys at the ring was standing there trying to light the ring belt, the ropes, didn't they? It's quite funny, yeah.
This is awful.
Oh, what's his name? I'm sure it's Mark Madden that's just said, because it's only coming up on subtitles, gone, this is insulting. I'm sitting there thinking, yeah, you're describing what your audience are probably thinking now they paid for this. The 20 of them that paid for it.
Well, that was exciting.
Got to an advert, Deliveroo.
I've got Expedia.
I'm sure other delivery companies are available.
I got New Balance.
Or Curry's, Intel Core processors.
Arla Foods.
Back in the swamp.
Oh,
My
I've
Shrek
got
would
still
say.
31 seconds.
Shrek would say, get in my swamp. Oh, the franchise is on camera now.
Oh, jeez.
I like Shane Douglas. I like all the underdogs. I don't know why.
Tom,
My favourite things with Shane Douglas, he come out on TV. I could be wrong here, but I'll get it in my mind. He comes out on TV every week in 99, 2000. Basically goes, I hate Ric Flair. Ric Flair comes out and goes, you're nothing to me, Shane. That's basically their whole rivalry for like the last 40 years. He's like, I hate you, Ric Flair. I'm 20 times the wrestler you are. Ric Flair's like, you're not even like the shit on my shoe, mate. But
I did feel sorry for him though when WCW. Well, it's obviously he was going to leave with the other lot, wasn't he? But
yeah,
WWF were like, nah.
yeah, we'll take
thanks but no thanks.
He literally, he was basically like, yeah, Chris, Eddie, guys, I've lined us all up a job with New York, and then New York are like, yeah, we've lined you all up a job. You, everyone except Shane Douglas.
Tom, I have a question. So, why couldn't it work with Shane Douglas going to WWF or WWE?
Because they don't like
him.
So
he was the Dean, he was Dean Douglas, if I remember rightly.
That's right, yeah.
Intercontinental champion for a 20 minutes.
Wasn't that 93, right? 94, 93, 94?
They hired him
95.
in 1995, and he was fired in 1995. Or he left.
So,
I wonder if
then,
Goldberg's guest manager ever did it.
They must have come up with that idea before he turned heel. Because why would you have someone to be the manager of your new top heel and then air it on pay-per-view, the competition?
so,
Buff
Tom,
Daddy.
so Russ, so then
Two working legs.
Shane Douglas went to ECW, then WCW, right?
He went from ECW to, was he? I don't know. No, he was in the WWE in like 1990 for like a short period of time. Then he went to. Did he go to ECW? Then he went to WWE. Can't remember.
No, he started out. Sorry, he was in WWE as a. If I remember rightly, he was basically like an alternate for the Rockers. I think.
Yeah, he wasn't a jobber, but he was just like Shane Douglas.
But he then was in WCW, where he was
yes.
basically dynamic dudes because he teamed up with John Laurinaitis.
That's right.
He was John Laurinaitis' tag team partner. And then then he fell down to ECW, and obviously he built himself up to the point where Vince McMahon was like, I'm looking at this rugged young athlete, and I'm going to make him a school teacher.
Yeah, so he was there for like 6 months, a year.
Then he went back to WCW, right?
There's no way he lasted a year.
Well, no, he didn't even beat anyone for the belt, did he? He just got given it.
He was awarded it because he was basically the opponent of Shawn Michaels. And Shawn Michaels got beat up by 1 million thugs in Syracuse. And I say 1 million, I'm obviously exaggerating because really it was about 4. But
and Davey Boy did nothing and just laughed.
My favourite bit of the entire on that particular pay-per-view, I can't remember the name of it. It was one in your houses, where basically Vince McMahon kept talking about it as if like, and every time Vince brought it up, he'd like add it was like a Goldberg streak. Like he'd just keep adding numbers. It started out like 8 people beat up Shawn, and then it was 19 thugs that beat up Shawn, and eventually by the end of the pay-per-view, did you know that 7 million thugs beat up Shawn? Amazing. And then Razor Ramon won the belt from him about 7 minutes after he'd handed it.
Yeah, that was pretty much it for him, wasn't
it?
I think Shane Douglas is probably a guy who makes enemies quite easily.
Oh, I can 100% believe it. Don't get me wrong, I make enemies very easily as well. But 100% my fault usually, but you know, still. Dean Douglas is why am I calling him his WWF gimmick? So he's Shane Douglas. I bet his name's Brian. Is his name actually Shane Douglas?
Possibly not.
But he did end up being in TNA for about a couple of years. If I
he didn't wrestle though, did he?
I think he was the manager for what was the team name?
Troy Allen Martin. There you go.
Yeah, you ain't putting Troy Martin on TV.
Me.
So Tom, he got the nickname right, the franchise at WCW, and just kept it.
He was always called the franchise.
W, yeah.
That's a great nickname, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a great nickname until you notice that after a while it's like, yeah, but you're not the champion of anything. What are you a franchise of? It's a sort of name that if Hulk Hogan had it, you'd be like, yeah, okay, it's a great nickname for Hulk Hogan because he's the McDonald's of wrestling. He's an actual franchise. But
Wasn't he like the heavyweight champion at ECW?
Yeah, he was the world's
He
first one.
was the first ever ECW champion. Yeah, sorry. Russ,
Well, he wasn't the first
he threw it
Eastern
down.
Championship Wrestling champion. He was the first Extreme Championship Wrestling
Yeah.
champion.
I believe what he actually won was the National Wrestling Alliance Heavyweight
Yeah,
Championship.
the NWA
That's
title.
right.
Yeah.
But then he threw that on the floor and christened it the ECW Championship, and then obviously the National Wrestling Alliance had their members there, and they went fucking mad. And Jim Cornette basically went fucking mad because Jim Cornette, like, I can't believe he did that, motherfucker. Or as Jim Cornette would tend to do.
Well, he did it because
Paul Heyman told him
Paul
to do it.
Heyman told him to. Todd Gordon probably did as well.
Paul Heyman told him to do it. Jim Cornette would have been like, why are you fucking doing that, motherfucker?
Tom, your impression reminds me of someone whose nickname is Michael Blackson.
I want to steal his nickname.
You're going to become the franchise Russ Morgan.
Yes, I quite like that. It's quite.
See how long it lasts.
It'll last forever on StreamYard and on whatever the other one is. Crap one.
Restream is the fucking worst.
I hate it.
Thank you for saying that, Tom. I can't stand it, man. God, it's funny, dude.
Why is I was about to say why is Shane Douglas, as if like why does he exist? Not fair. Buff Bagwell with the look of a man that has artificial calves.
He only has one now.
Oh, shit. Here comes Tori Wilson.
Where's Billy Kidman?
I like her. I like Buff Bagwell. I always thought he was fine.
Hey, Tom, didn't he win the rookie of the year in 1992?
Oh, here we go. Woman with boobs coming out.
Right, yeah. They fucking love Bagwell. Back when he was Marcus Alexander Bagwell.
American males.
American males. American males. American. What lyrics?
Who's your tag team partner?
It was Scotty Riggs.
Scotty Riggs. Yeah. Well, they broke up the team because obviously Buff Bagwell joined the NWO and Riggs didn't.
I suppose the real reason is because Kevin Nash liked to go drinking with him. Not Riggs.
Come on, Russ. So, Tori Wilson, I met. She lived in the Woodlands, Texas, for a couple of years. She was with that guy from the cheerleading squad on WWE.
Really?
Yeah. Cheer squad.
Kenny?
I think. No. Was it Kenny?
Kenny, Mikey, Nikki.
She's with all of them.
No, she had a real life relationship with someone that was from the Woodlands, Texas. Anyway, she owned a shop on Market Street, and we saw her walking with her boyfriend. It wasn't Kenny Dykstra, and it wasn't Dolph Ziggler.
Was it Mike Mondo?
Yeah, I think it was Tom. He was a bigger.
I'm glad it was, because I couldn't remember who the fifth member was.
Yeah, that was him. He was like the shorter of the. He was the shorter of the bunch, the short, stocky one.
She's really nice though. Like she's just a lovely person.
She's really nice there.
I mean, she's exceptionally nice in that outfit, of course.
This was back in 2000, I think 7 or 8.
You can tell she's not had one lick of wrestling training at this point. Just even the way she walked across the ring, it's like, you've not really done this much.
I don't know who had the best birds. Was it WWE or WCW?
It's hard to say. And when I say hard to say,
I mean, I was a big Sable fan.
always, and my only real reference for this is the '97 Slammy Awards, when she basically came out in the bikini, and everyone just basically ejaculated over the. And Mark Merrow sat there going, "Oh, I can't believe everyone wants to have sex with my wife."
Really? Here he comes, Hollywood Hogan. There you go. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, Terry.
Yeah, he has the look on his face of a man that knows the finish.
No, it doesn't. Jeff Jarrett, what a winner.
Jarrett. I love his WCW theme where it's just like, whoa, whoa. Dun, 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 dun.
I liked his WCW music.
He's awesome. It's awesome. But whenever I first hear it, I still think, fucking hell, here comes Jarrett. Again?
I just think here comes Kid Rock.
Yeah. When he does his TNA music, it's just the fucking worst. Because especially when he's doing his Reign of Terror in 2003.
My world.
My world, my world.
I hate that. It's just like... I even liked his old WCW music, the country and western one.
Oh, with Deborah, right? If Deborah Michael was on there.
Yeah. That music, yeah. Of all the bloody music they could have chosen when he came back into WWE for that Royal Rumble, they picked his shittest music going. I was like, oh no. The proper 1993 music. Yeah, that one. And you could have chosen any of them.
They originally, when they brought him back in '97, they were going to strap the rocket to him, but then he fucked it on the first night by saying that Austin 316 is blasphemous.
They could have had his NWA music. I like that as well.
He had this theme where it would go boom, boom, but then they had him do a voiceover, and he said there's all these great superstars, and then there's me, and it's like Jarrett, Jeff, you have not just said the sentence you think you've said. Because I know you think you've just said there are loads of great wrestlers and then you're even better, but everyone's just going to look at it as you just saying that everyone's really good and you're shit.
I used to like that. You know when the NWA invaded WWE, he had that other music, didn't he? I even like that more than the music they used bloody when he came back.
I think that's the one I'm referencing.
Yeah.
They originally had him doing voiceovers during it.
Oh, did he? I don't think I ever heard that version. But yeah, it was the NWA with him and what was it? Canterbury and the Phineas.
When they eventually become
Godwins,
Southern Justice.
Yeah, Southern Justice, yeah.
That's a great name for a team of fucking idiots.
Tom, what was it? Jeff Jarrett, your protege, the honky tonk man.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Wasn't he the protege to honky tonk man?
I believe Billy Gunn was the protege to the honky tonk man because he was.
I hate this generic bloody WWE dubbing music.
Oh, okay.
They've actually given him his WWF theme, haven't they? I suspect. Oh,
No,
hang on.
it's
The Hogan
not.
one.
No, it's just a generic. It goes chosen one, and then it's just generic music.
Ah. Oh, sorry, because I think I might be a bit in front. Maybe, I don't know.
Because
There's a lot of crowd panning.
that was my suspicion, was that since they're both from Tennessee, I guess that would have been Honky Tonk's protege.
No, they wanted
was
Billy Gunn, didn't they, or something?
right. Okay.
That was
Yeah,
Rockabilly.
That's
Billy,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, Rockabilly. That's right.
It should have been Jeff Jarrett. Really.
Because Rockabilly feuded with Road Dogg Jesse James all summer, and eventually one week they just went, "Why don't we just stop fighting each other?" And then
Become
they
a
beat
tag
up
team.
Honky Tonk
Yeah.
Man. Yeah.
And Honky Tonk Man left.
So then that was between Smoking Guns and the New Age Outlaws, right?
Yeah, because the Smoking Guns broke up because Bart Gunn had had enough of Billy Gunn. And then basically you were meant to get like a big heel turn from Billy Gunn, and Bart Gunn would become babyface, but what really happened was basically no one gave a fuck about either of them.
Because Tom, I thought as a kid that Billy Gunn has sex with Bart Gunn's wife. That's why the heel turn on Billy Gunn. Bart Gunn. Is that accurate or no?
I have no idea if that's true.
Okay.
I mean, personally, I think Bart Gunn should win most things in the world because he beat up Steve Williams.
And Barbara, right? Yeah, that's right.
And Bradshaw.
Right, Russo's out now, isn't he?
Me and Russ were talking about that earlier time before he came on about that whole Bart Gunn fall brawl, ball for all. And it's like, man, that was a mess.
So every time I've ever even sniffed the brawl for all, it's the worst thing they ever put on TV in wrestling.
Yeah.
And I don't even need to tell anyone why. You just have to sniff it or look at it. Eugene Cornette does multiple videos telling you why it's a terrible idea. You made not one star out of it and injured half your roster. There was no star made from it because you punished the guy that actually could have been a star from it because you wanted Dr. Death to win it and he didn't. This is the same building where he turned heel 4 years previously.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they mentioned it in subtitles. It sounds right because it's in Daytona.
That was 96, right, Tom? 96?
Yeah. I mean, that's got to be the greatest heel turn. Like, I know there were people earlier this year saying the John Cena one, but obviously that got ruined.
It lasted 5 minutes.
Yeah. It was a great heel turn. If you then had The Rock show up for more than 15 seconds to follow up on it, and then you had him win the main event at WrestleMania with help from Travis Scott. Fuck you, WWF. Fuck you. Is Jarrett doing a 1980s house show heel type shit where he's basically a time waste for a month because
I wish I could get a tan as good as Hogan's, man. It's just like just a bit amazing.
Only a bit like Hulk Hogan, Russ.
I bet he ain't got a tan at the moment.
Oh Jesus!
Well, actually, he's probably got a mega tan.
He's in hell. I don't know. I don't.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. The big moment.
Come on, Jeff. Come on. Do the job, son. Come on. Yeah, but Hogan's sort of in there. He's like, oh, I'm going to actually wrestle here.
I think Hogan had worked hard all day to basically like, oh yeah, I'm going to run rings around this Jarrett fella. It's like, you fucking weren't, mate. But I remember they did TNA storylines around this, like basically, like why did Hugh low down for Hogan in 2000?
Are you serious, Tom?
They were going to do Jarrett versus Hogan in TNA here in 2003, I think, or 2004. They didn't, obviously, because why would they? But no, they're doing a TNA versus NXT war.
Is that tomorrow, right? Tomorrow?
They're doing NXT pay-per-view tomorrow night. It needs to end in some sort of war games.
War games.
Oh, Hogan just pinned Jarrett. Would you imagine that? I like how Jarrett walks off. It's like, this motherfucker. He pulled his creative control card on me.
No, I don't think. I think that if I was Jarrett, I'd be like, what? It's difficult, isn't it? What do you do? Do you want to look like a complete shithead and just walk off, or just like? Obviously, this isn't good for business, is it? And you're like, well,
it's terrible. Absolute bullshit. The worst part they do is when they actually have Russo come back out and cut his promo, because that actually puts the company in even more shit. Because what was originally meant to happen, if I remember rightly, Russ and Lonzo, Hogan was eventually going to come back and win the belt at Starrcade.
Yeah, later on, yeah.
But because of the promo that Vince Russo's about to cut, where he basically outs the fact that Hogan's a big bald politician, or whatever he calls him, big bald bastard, whatever, they actually get sued for real by Hulk Hogan.
But you say there's defamation of character in it. It's like, well, no, because he was shooting on Hulk Hogan and not Terry Bollea or some bullshit like that. So it's a technicality. It's like, well, you're a character, not a real person, essentially. There you go. Right. Is it Hogan's walking out, and that's the last time you ever see him on WCW TV? That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. It's done.
It's done. And if we pretended he had never resurfaced in the WWE, that would be the last time you see Hulk Hogan on Earth.
Well, until you went to TNA.
unless you watch Hogan Knows Best or his sex tape.
Or what's that so he did, Tom?
I've not actually seen the sex tape.
On Gorka.
I have seen him sitting on the end of the bed crying after it.
Tom, what was that show called he did when he was a cop and he was on a boat?
Thunder in Paradise.
Yeah, that's right.
Before this.
can't remember what someone called. Blunder in Paradise, I believe he was referred to.
Have you seen the sex tape, Alonso?
I had not.
I have seen One Night in China.
Yeah.
All I'm going
I've
to
seen
say
the other one. I've seen the other one where she was getting done by Vince McMahon.
is that the Queen of the Ring one.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
And I love how she takes out her entire real frustrations with the WWE and that entire thing. Like she's like, yeah, Vince, she screwed you over, and your fucking daughter, that fucking bitch. Like,
well, I'm gonna screw you.
Yeah, and they're all like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, I totally did that. And she's like, yeah, you did, and it's like, she feels like they really did. And sort of things like they're just gonna go along with what you tell them, but just fabulous piece of work. sorry. I'll match of the night, an MVP, obviously the guy that dressed as Mean Gene Okerlund. I'm sorry, Alonso.
It's a shame Val Venus wasn't called for that, you know.
He would have probably took the call and gone, no, expose the gimmick, brother.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah, can you imagine? They should have had someone dressed as Val Venus in it.
If I was Val Venus, I'd be sitting going, A, you didn't call me, and B, what, you don't think I'm a big enough star for you to dress someone else up as me? That'd be the part that'd upset me more than anything. What the fuck is this?
As that hero,
Sting, apparently.
What, they're bringing out a coffin?
This is so bad, man.
It's like Halloween Havoc early or something like this. It's like if the Undertaker's entrance was done, but the Poundland version or the dollar store version in America.
7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Right, so he was fighting the Demon Del Torborg, and now he's going for Sting.
Oh Lord, it is Sting.
Why is Sting wearing a mask?
Because WCW.
But he's still got his face painted underneath it. I don't like that Metallica music.
Which one, Russ?
Seek and Destroy, is it?
Oh, yeah.
I think that's the one. His theme music should just be the actual,
other one,
like,
yeah.
The pro version.
Yeah. I don't know why they just suddenly had to give him and Goldberg all rock music. I don't know, it's just...
Isn't it because WWE, how WWF had a, like, what is it? At this time, they'd have had Kid Rock doing The Undertaker's theme, wouldn't they?
No, Jeff Jarrett did Jeff Jarrett's music, didn't he? And Nirvana.
Chosen one. Wasn't there a time when Diamond Dallas Page went on the Jay Leno show, partly to promote the wrestling match with Jay Leno, but then Dave Grohl was also on there, and basically, obviously, his music is obviously a heavy rip-off of Nirvana.
Yeah.
And Dave Grohl's like, what the fuck is this? Like, motherfucker, this is my song. I made this.
I'm sure Dave Grohl's fine with his 17-year-old wife or whatever.
Well, look at
Especially now that knowing that in the year 2000 his wife was like -7. Oh God.
All he did was punch him once and he's knocked out.
Why does Goldberg look like he's getting dressed for the prom, but it's basically like put the suspenders around his neck and he's like, okay, I'm done. Evil Goldberg.
Tom, what did Goldberg do between the time he was let go by WCW essentially and when he made his appearance back? Did he make an attempt at pro football again?
Collecting money from Time Warner.
Yeah, he just sat out his contract.
Oh wow.
Like they all did.
Yeah. Well, the only one that didn't was Diamond Dallas Page, and he shouldn't have. In hindsight, he obviously should have stayed at home and collected the money, but he wanted to wrestle WrestleMania.
I think he was at a more of a disadvantage because obviously he was a bit older than some of the other guys, I guess.
Well, ironically, he probably was a similar age to some of those guys, but obviously they had already done it all.
Yeah, and he'd been WCW champion. It was like, well, he could have sat at home and done nothing.
You know what's funny? How on I don't know if you guys remember this, but on Thunder, they had made a big deal about Sting giving him a shirt and all that, like an NWO shirt. Essentially, if you want to join NWO, here's a shirt. If you want to wear it, put it on. And right when he was putting it on, he got jumped by NWO Black and White or Hollywood. Tom, what happened with that?
I don't know what week you're talking about, Alonzo, because it could be any week. Any episode of Nitro where it just basically ends with an NWO beating someone up. It's basically...
It happened on, I think, Thunder, how, I guess, Sting gave DDP a NWO Wolfpack shirt. And at the end, he was putting it on, but he got jumped by Hollywood NWO. But then they heard
about... being 98, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it was. It was, I think, June or July.
DDP ended up basically not joining either one. He stayed independent, I'm guessing.
Yeah. But he was, I guess, an ally to NWO Wolfpack. I think that's how I saw it. Because him and Sting were, I guess, pals at the time.
Yeah, well, he was babyface, wasn't he? So
right,
no one was. He obviously they're not going to attack him, but at the same point, he's not involved with it.
It would have been kind of cool, to see him in NWO Wolfpack, I guess,
I got really sick of the NWO at one point.
Yeah, I think we all did.
So did the audience. If you look at the viewing, I say look at the viewing figures. Monday Night Raw in 2025 would absolutely kill for the WCW viewing figures of 2000.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was just on TV, wasn't it? On normal cable or whatever.
I know it's more because the viewing habits of television have changed and things like that. Like no TV shows actually doing those numbers, but
yeah. Plus, you have to pay. How much, Alonzo? £900 a year to watch all wrestling in America or something now.
Well, so
it's all on different streaming services and packages and whatever.
WWE specifically, yeah.
Yeah, so on, I guess, ESPN now, I pay $30 a month.
How much?
And then $30. 30. Netflix, I pay 17, and Peacock, I think it's $11. Well, that's because I had to have Peacock to watch Arsenal, right? So, it's just a mess. It's so messed up. It's about greed, right? I think Nick Khan and all them do, like, they're just a bunch of weasels. I could say something else, but I'm not going to. But it's kind of shocking, that you just had it on one streaming service, and it was fine on the WWE network, So why change it? But money talks.
Yeah. Well, the reality is obviously for them as a business, they make more money from how it is compared to how it was. And the one thing I always give the WWE Network, as serious as this is, and it's a really underrated thing, is I realised that for the 10 years they existed, it was $9.99 a month. There was no increase. It stayed at $9.99.
Yeah.
Which for a streaming service is practically unheard of. Because I bet Netflix has basically not stayed the same price across 10 years.
No, it goes up every bloody year.
I remember whenever Netflix came out here in the States, it was like $7.99 a month at one point.
When in England, the wrestling historically was always on Sky TV. And obviously in England it was more, you got Sky TV, you could have wrestling and Premier League football. Then eventually BT Sport became a thing and they got the rights to WWE. And basically I personally didn't watch it. I wasn't paying £30 a month to watch wrestling, and Leeds weren't in the Premier League, so why would I pay for it? But I mean, you can watch wrestling now all for £7 a month.
Yeah, that's why you need to get a VPN. You can watch Netflix.
If Rolando gets a VPN, right, does he have to make an account for Netflix in England?
No, you just change your thing. Just change your territory.
Okay.
So you just log into a UK server and that's it. You can watch it.
Interesting.
That's the whole point. It's like if I bought a VPN, there was a couple of years ago when on Paramount, on the streaming service, they had Premier League football, but you'd have to watch it on a Mexican server. And the only thing was, it was all in Spanish. The commentary was all in Spanish and you couldn't change it. But other than that, you could watch every single Premier League game on Paramount.
Wow.
You just change your location to Mexico.
So Vince Russo just cut his promo, which is essentially fucked the company unintentionally.
They're all cheering him though.
Well, because they know he's technically right in everything that he said. But it's a very stupid thing to do that.
Tom, I have a question for you. And you too, sorry, Tom. Who do you think?
What are
Who
these
do you
people
think?
talking about?
Who do you think was more honest about the business? Vince Russo or Jim Cornette?
That's basically like saying who's going to know more about football out of Manchester United and Dagenham Redbridge. And obviously, you're meant to say obviously Man United, but deep down I'd be really tempted to go Dagenham Redbridge basically has its merits. I don't know.
Or try to say who's done more for the business, Vince Russo or Jim Cornette?
The thing is, Cornette.
Oh, Vince Russo's done more for the wrestling business, because without Vince Russo, you don't get fucking anything you can fucking put on a pole.
But the thing is, though, it's like Cornette had certain style, and that is 70s, 80s wrestling.
Yeah.
he still believes in kayfabe and everything, which is fine. I mean, you obviously things change over time, but
Yeah,
but that I think there should be a sense of mystique around wrestling more than anything else. You shouldn't see the two heel and baby faces interacting, really. I know it's these days everybody's got phones and you record literally everything. But I can understand why the mystique was, oh, yeah, you can't be seen out drinking with
yeah.
the faces, can't be seen drinking with the heels and stuff. I can understand that.
You should have
Was
seen
it?
Chris' face when I told him that Hacksaw Jim Duggan got fired in 1987 because he was caught. He pulled up by the police in a car for smoking weed, and he wasn't fired because the police arrested him for smoking weed. It was actually fired because he was in the car with the Iron Sheik, who he was rivalry with on camera. That is the actual reason he was fired. Nothing to do with the fucking arrest. Is because it became public news that he was in the car with the Iron Sheik, who I was meant to believe on TV that he absolutely fucking hated on site.
There should be a mystique around it. But as I say, you can't really do it now. As I say, everyone's got phones and camera phones and everything else. So yeah, you can't keep that mystique. But yeah, I mean that was the whole thing about wrestling. It was like, yeah,
Yeah.
he's the face, he's a heel. Never the twain shall meet kind of thing.
Be right back.
My favourite thing relating to this is I agree with a lot of what Jim Cornette says about wrestling, but I think he feels it so strongly where it's like, Jim, it's not worth feeling it as strongly as you are feeling it. But I think with him, a lot of it is an act. Well, I don't believe he hates Kenny Omega as much as he says he does, but it puts money in his pocket.
Well, that's the thing, though. I think if he just not relaxed a bit, but like he could still offer something to some company.
Yeah,
he's a font of all knowledge. He would still be able to, on a creative side, he would still offer something to someone. He could book a whole, like the NWA. Like I know he was there, but then he got fired or whatever. But he could book the whole show, and it'll probably be 10 times better than what it is now.
I feel like he can offer a lot. This is why he's very similar to Russo. You could take his ideas and filter them through Vince, and Vince would go, yeah, that'll work, that won't work, whatever.
Yeah.
It's very similar to Vince Russo. Basically, like, they're very similar in that way. But basically, Jim Cornette would believe that he can book an entire territory, let's just say. And it's probably not true. Because the way he would book it, no one will watch it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to sound horrible when I say that to him, but I just mean the way he so strongly feels wrestling wouldn't be particularly interesting to the average viewer, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I'm sure that he could still have ideas if he was on a booking committee somewhere that he would just throw out a gem and it will probably work.
What I think is, and without being horrible to him, I don't think he's had any success as a booker anywhere though. Like, obviously, Smoky Man in wrestling lasted about 3 years, and then it went under because, again, his style of wrestling, it's great for ideas, but it doesn't pay the bills as such enough to actually keep paying the bills for next week.
Mm.
And like, anytime he got the book in in TNA, they immediately had to go to Russo. What's the other one? He was booking ROH wrestling, and basically that didn't go well for him either because he nearly killed the ROH.
Yeah, as I say, sort of his ideas are more for like 70s, 80s territory type.
Talking about
I'm sure. I think if he probably couldn't book a whole territory, but he'll probably give you a really great finish that hasn't been seen in 30 years and people will think it's brand new.
You know, the actual thing he would be really good for, and it was actually part of his show, because I'll occasionally will look through the clips of his show and basically
Yeah,
go,
I used
I'm
to
not
listen
listening
to
to
it
4
all the time.
hours of Jim Cornette. Like, I'm fucking ill, but I'm not that fucking ill. But basically ones where he'd read a talent sheet from 1997 with a list of what, because WWE asked him basically, what do you think of these wrestlers? And he gave his opinion. That's what I'd do. I'd go, Jim, watch the show and tell me what you think of every fucking wrestler on this program. Because you know he's going to give you the truth, because why wouldn't he?
Well, yeah, he's not getting paid not to.
Yeah. And that's what the real value in him would be, is basically tell me how I can make money with X, Y, and Z. And I'll take a lot of it with a pinch of salt, but at the same time, because obviously you've got to keep in mind, he's just immediately, basically, like, I'm not going to walk up to him and go, what do you think of Io Sky? Because I know he won't watch her for less than 10 seconds because she's Asian. He does not watch Asian wrestlers.
Or anyone who's ever been to New Japan. Or
don't, like I say, he does make like he's fascinating in that way. But you know, you got to look in like the backstory. You haven't got to look at the backstory. Why waste your time with it? But obviously, it helps if you know why he won't like certain things. So again, you know, I keep saying it's similar. Vince Russo also wouldn't be able to tell you how to book Io Sky, because he also won't watch Japanese women wrestle. But they hate each other, supposedly. It's like, yeah, but you have awfully similar opinions on things on television.
I think he talks about his hatred. Well, they both do on Vice on the Dark Side of Wrestling on New
oh yeah, he was on that a lot, yeah.
And they both were Russ, and it's like, wow, like it's quite, in hindsight, it's crazy how much, like you said, Tom, they're similar in the way that they feel wrestling should be, but they have a distinction for each other. That's interesting you bring that up.
Their feud is very, I don't think it's real, as silly as that sounds. I think they both pay their bills partly because of it. Because one of them can't fart without the other one doing an hour podcast on the other one farting.
I probably think there is some animosity there, because obviously their ideas are just completely different, and Jim Cornette just won't take anyone's. Just didn't think that type of booking was. But as I say, Cornette's stuck in the 80s.
To me, the thing with him, I think his animosity, I'm wrong in saying their animosity is not genuine, of course there is. I suppose what I really mean is that he exaggerates how much he hates Russo, and Russo exaggerates kind of how much he doesn't care. Because he knows that if he does say enough to wind up Cornette, he then gets another couple of hours of his podcast. But what I was really getting at is what I was going to say, but he's very. I'm stalling for the fact that I've totally forgot what I was going to say, but their minds are very. All I can think of is how many things can I put on a poll? Vince Russo. Is actually, so I've remembered it. Basically, Vince McMahon, because Vince chose Russo and not Cornette. Cornette has got a thing about it.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think because obviously he was going in that direction, and obviously he pivoted towards Russo rather than Cornette.
Yeah, that's the real thing that really sticks in his craw.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
I've got like probably at the time 20 years wrestling experience. I've maybe got the numbers wrong, and then basically Vince Russo's basically running a video store, He's come in and he's writing your magazine, and you're going to have him write a TV show. I mean, I can understand why I'd be annoyed at that, but at the same time, like, it's not your job to actually decide who's fucking running the company, essentially. TV or whatever. Oh, that Goldberg match again, and
I think Tom. I think that Vince Russo was very creative, and I think at the time Vince McMahon gave him that opportunity to be creative because they had nothing to lose at that time because Nitro was kicking their butts. Like,
well, no, he had to pivot though because obviously Attitude Era was coming. Vince Russo was a big part of that. Jim Cornette would never have booked anything like that.
Not at all.
Sort of Russo just had his finger on the pulse of what was needed at that particular time. Obviously, when the Attitude Era sort of petered out, all of Russo's ideas petered out as well. Because the audience changes.
I always thought the Attitude Era got better when Russo left. It became less about because this will sound really silly, but in my opinion, there were two halves of the Attitude Era. You had the half where Russo was basically had the book, and it was shock television. Matches lasted 30 seconds or whatever, and ending fuck finishes left, right, and centre, and everyone was on the show. And then you had the second half of the Attitude Era where you had the WCW wrestlers coming in, the Radicals, and basically the wrestling went up tenfold. Like the quality of it is distinctly. Obviously, you had Kurt Angle became a thing. Jericho, Benoit, Guerrero. I'm looking at Booker T now, but still, but there's two distinct halves of the Attitude Era. The half of it where the storylines are really shocking, and then the second half where actually the wrestling's really fucking good in comparison to the first half.
Yeah, Tom, because you had the corporate ministry stuff that was shocking as well, and then you had that fallout with that, and then you had Triple H and Vince McMahon getting married. So all that stuff you said just made a lot of sense because there's a lot of shock value in that as well.
A lot of people won't like it when I say this, but the Undertaker in the Attitude Era was actually really quite lame. He really was. He just was, because it was in like this hybrid where like he hadn't fully turned Mark Calloway, but he was still the Undertaker. And he's sitting there like he's doing his things where like he's doing interviews and he's like standing with the Big Show and he's like, I'm gonna take you into the deserts and I'm gonna drive you out there and then I'm gonna drive away without you and I'm gonna expect you to reappear with snake skin boots. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, Mark Calloway?
Tom, I have a question, Tom, about that period of Undertaker's career. Do you think that he sacrificed a lot for his own sake because he had The Rock coming up? He just lost to Bret Hart, so he's trying to find his identity and all that. Do you think that he sacrificed himself?
No, I think he as a human being is quite insecure from what I've seen. Like very
the character or the person?
Well, because he's constantly always like even on camera would always be belittling the Big Show because he's jealous of the Big Show. So it kind of like apparently would like bleed over in real life, like you're not worth the money that they're paying you and shit. It's like, who are you to say that?
Oh wow!
I don't give a fuck that you're the Undertaker. It's like just go and do your own job. But then, to be fair, Undertaker is basically he can't go anywhere without his fucking wife at the moment. She's fucking stinking up the podcast left, right, and centre, isn't she?
Yeah, they got rid of that other guy, didn't they?
The one that actually made it semi-interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris.
from what I had to see.
And that was so bad.
Booker T's gonna finally get his shot at a WCW title, but in the back of his mind, he must be sitting there thinking, "This is how it must have felt like for Ron Simmons."
Yeah, pretty much, Tom. All right, Booker T. He's a good dude, I guess.
That's the best belt ever, that one.
Mm-hmm.
It is the best wrestling belt. No, sorry. I prefer the WWF Winged Eagle belt, but at the same time, that is the best wrestling belt because you look at that and like that is a wrestling belt.
There's a history behind it too, Tom.
Also, keep in mind that's the best wrestling belt that shouldn't be worn by Jeff Jarrett.
Oh, yeah.
Jeff. My other thing that I think of, like when I think of Vince Russo and how he has his booking favourites, can you imagine if Vince Russo had managed to sign D'Lo Brown? D'Lo Brown is another one that he was all over WWF television for the 2 years that Russo was booking, and then as soon as he left for WCW, D'Lo fucking dropped like a stone.
Didn't he get hurt though, Tom?
No, I think he paralysed Droz, I believe.
Yeah, that probably didn't do
That was
anything
also
for
a
him.
big part of it.
Damn. That's crazy.
He was injured though, wasn't he? Because he had that thing on, didn't he?
Yeah, the brass.
Protector.
He had to wear the chest protector.
Yeah.
Down to be Severin who ripped his tit or something like that.
That's Severin.
Dan the Beast Severin did like a move where basically, I suppose it was kind of a bit like the Rings of Saturn, but still. And then they did the classic thing of he's wearing the thing to protect his chest, but he's obviously wearing it for far longer than he actually needs to. Like 2 years into wearing the chest protector, it's like there's no way his chest needs protecting at this point. But still, classic.
So when they have a cast on their arm for like a year and a half, it's like,
exactly what I was about to say. Like Owen Hart wearing the cast, or Bob Orton Jr. or Randy Orton's dad would wear a cast. He's like, that motherfucker's never had a broken arm in his fucking life. I don't know that's a fact, but I suspect it highly. Yeah. Having seen this now, I'm very confident in my assumption that the show was very good until the Hogan Jarrett match off a fucking cliff. But that's nothing new, Alonzo and Russ. That is basically every WCW pay-per-view ever. The start of it is very good, and then it gradually gets worse and worse and worse.
I don't know, this match, I mean, it hasn't finished yet for me. I mean, this match is alright.
The match itself is fine, but still, it's like you're far too behind the cue ball or the 8 ball to then go, yeah, putting a young talent like Booker T over finally. It's like, mate, you should have done this 2 years ago.
Yeah, but they still had like Hogan and Flair and Nash and Goldberg was probably the biggest, highest star in the world. You're not going to let him lose to Booker T, are you?
But if you do eventually want to put Booker T up there, you have to do something similar. Or you at least book Booker T in a way where at least people might buy it.
Like when he fought Triple H.
I always used to debate the others on this, but I always felt like, to me, the storyline was very, people were like, the storyline's racist. Whereas I always thought the prejudice was more the fact of Triple H was treating him as, you are a WCW wrestler, more than you are a black wrestler. but I've been told that I'm obviously wrong, and that's fine. But I always just saw it differently, I suppose. Maybe because I don't know.
Hey, Rudy, how you doing, pal? Good to see you, man. Yeah, I think Booker T was. Wasn't Booker T the last champion of WCW time? Remember?
Yeah, he beat
Yeah.
Scott Steiner on the
That's
last
right. Yeah.
Nitro.
Yes,
So
that's
then
true.
he brought the belt to WWE. That's right.
That wasn't the match where Scott Hall's photo fell out of the box.
Didn't they call that the San Francisco 49ers match?
Yeah.
Even your wrestling match names are shit.
That's Russo's written all over it, really, wasn't it?
But didn't he attack Stone Cold on SmackDown, or was it Raw?
I thought he attacked him in a grocery store.
Yeah.
Oh, that was before that.
Who are you talking about? Like
They should both be counted out. I'm sorry.
Booker T, when the invasion happened, right? I think this was
during the invasion, he attacked Steve Austin during the King of the Ring, and that was his first appearance. Later in the year, he then fought him again in the supermarket, or what you'd call it, the store, or whatever.
The grocery store.
Yeah. Incredible. Press check on the jackass.
But then didn't he attack on getting Raw, and then the APA came out trying to find Booker T, and Booker T already ran off.
I like when they started fighting. Steve Austin finally catches up to him, but then two nuns walk in the church or something like that. And then they start having to act like they're mates because the two nuns are there. They're staring. Even Steve Austin sort of breaks character and just starts staring at him like, I hate this motherfucker, but I'm not going to hit you in front of two nuns.
Is this a non-sanctioned match or something?
It's a Attitude Era brawl where basically the rules don't apply. To tell it more accurately, it's an Attitude Era main event where basically the rules are what the referee needs them to be for the match. But you are right, and that should have ended immediately.
Well, it should have been counted out.
They've been out of the ring for at least 2 minutes. So at what point do you start the 10-second count? Jarrett hit him with the chair. That's a disqualification. Should be. But the ref's just like, nope, let's just start counting again.
I don't know which ref this is. I'm not up on my WCW referees.
Is there one called Mickey J, I believe?
Could be, yeah.
I believe he goes on to be a WWE ref.
Mickey J. Tom?
I think so. Because obviously they had enough refs to bring them in to then do the referee match at Invasion. That's amazing. I love this shit. Oh man, fucking this wrestling.
I'd like the pre-thing when they were just arguing in the changing rooms. I preferred that to the actual match.
Didn't have to bring in Mick Foley to be the referee of the match. And correct me if I'm wrong, but as part of the agreement, he said he'd only referee the referee's match if he then got to referee the bra and panties match. Like, Mick, you're a married man, mate.
Plays his creative control card.
Wasn't that table supposed to break?
I mean, I would as well. So yeah, I'll ref that match as well, please. They made me do it. It was their idea, actually.
They literally said you can only referee this
Yeah.
match
If you do the other one after something.
if you make sure these referees will stay in line.
Jeff Jarrett's just a competent wrestler.
He's a fantastic professional wrestler.
I don't think he actually injured anyone or anything. He was just a very competent wrestler.
He does wrestling very well.
He does.
No botches, from what I can remember.
Tom, do you think that him and Mr. Perfect were really competent wrestlers?
I believe there was a time when Mr. Perfect was very good, like before he obviously got injured. Because there's a noticeable difference from when like he returns from his injury.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he didn't flop around as much as he used to.
Yeah.
I mean, his selling, like pre-injury, was Shawn Michael levels of.
Yeah. That's why they couldn't wait to put them against each other.
Yeah, they wouldn't be in the ring; they'd just be jumping around and falling down.
Oh,
allegedly, in '93 they would wrestle every night, every summer. It'd be Shawn Michaels versus Mr. Perfect, and it'd be incredible. It'd be the best match on the card. But then when they actually did the match at SummerSlam, it was the fucking worst match they ever had with each other. Because of course it worked out like that.
Tom, when did Shawn Michaels split up with Margin? When did he split up with Margin Eddie? Was it 92? 91?
On camera it was 92, but they actually filmed it in 91.
Oh, okay.
Because they only really aired it like the weekend of the Royal Rumble.
The
it was actually
barbershop.
filmed in like December of '91. But yeah, as Russ said, the barbershop segment.
That's right.
Obviously, the real hero of that segment was obviously Bobby Heenan.
He jumped through the window.
He sounds so angry when they like made up and all that, and then when he kicked, he's like, I knew he was going to do that. And then when he's like, look at him, he's trying to escape through the window. Get away from Shawn.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
Tom, is there a stoop tonight?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. Come on, Russ. What do you think Booker T's best? When was Booker T at his best, Tom and Russ?
Probably mid '98, I'm guessing, when he was wrestling Chris Benoit on a weekly basis.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Oh wow.
They had the best of 7 thing, didn't they?
It was so good that they did it again like 8 years later. When it wasn't nearly as good, but still did it. Don't blame them. I don't know. In an alternate world, I'd get a time machine. I'd go in Vince's ear and go, "No, Vince, I've seen the future. If you want Nancy to be alive, you won't rebook their best of ever."
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
I went there. Tasteless. I would apologise, but I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry.
No one's watching anyway.
That's true.
It really is.
Riddy's long gone.
No way Riddy's watching this at this point. Like, he probably took one look like, what's Bash at the Beach to? Oh, I'm watching that shit.
Log off.
He probably put his phone in the bin in protest.
Tom and Russ, was there never, I think you mentioned before, Tom, was there ever going to be a match between Kimberly Page and Miss Elizabeth?
Yes. they 100%. I bet they probably did book it, but because Vince Russo was obsessed with getting Elizabeth in matches, because rightly or wrongly, he basically reasoned that basically she is earning so much money, she should be fucking wrestling.
Mhm.
I suppose it just depends what's in her contract. Am I a
Well,
wrestler?
that
Not
was
really.
her argument. Basically, they've agreed to pay me this, and I don't have to wrestle. He's like, well, I'm not seeing on a thing on your contract that says you don't have to wrestle.
Wow. What was that bit where who got kidnapped and who was like stepping her around? Was Elizabeth doing that, or was that somebody Paige doing it to Elizabeth?
Didn't they have I can't remember what way round it was, but I mean, their women's storylines were so much shitter than the
Yeah.
nonsense that was written WWF. But still, I mean, I'm no expert in any of this. I mean, I'm no expert on the women's division, obviously, but ask Russ about the women's division,
Because didn't Eric Bischoff hypnotize Kimberly Page?
I believe that Eric Bischoff knows Kimberly Page really well. Intimately well, some would say. Let's just say he's probably the reason why she's probably the reason why he discovered he needed Blue Chew.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Blue Tube, eh?
Jarrett's got the guitar.
Oh, sorry, match has finished my end.
Because the adverts probably put him behind. But, yep, Booker T's won the belt. And he's like, I can't believe I've won. It's like, mate, that championship changes hands about 70 or more times between now and the end of the company. Don't get used to it.
At least it's nice to finish a show like that, I suppose.
That year went fast. That year between him winning it and then the company going down, it's like that year was like so fast, you know.
I haven't got the facts to my hand, but I am led to believe. Can you guess who wins the title the most in the year 2000? Which wrestler? Yep, Russ is right. Bacon is the champion in WCW in 2000 more than anyone. More than Goldberg, more than Booker, more than Nash, more than Hogan. Bacon.
More than Flair. Flair won it twice in a week, didn't he, as well? He had it given to him, then he had it stripped of him, and then he won it back. So I don't know. It's so stupid.
Like something they'd do.
That was enjoyable. I like that show. That wasn't too bad. It wasn't offensive, apart from Vince Russo going off on one.
Yeah, it was very, very cool. Especially seeing Major Guns out.
I like Major Guns, yeah.
It's definitely the sort of show where I believe once the bullshit occurred, which was mainly the start of it and to the end, but the talking about the wrestling industry around it was probably better than the show itself. But, it's the one good thing about the WWE, WCW YouTube channel or whatever it is, the WWE Vault.
Yeah.
The actual video that showed up.
Blue Tube.
No, I don't know if you can see it, but Jim Cornette reviews Dark Side of the Rings Bash at the Beach 2000 episode.
Well, there you go.
It's
a coincidence, isn't it?
It's an episode dedicated to Bash at the Beach 2000.
Quite possibly. He talks about literally everything. And why wouldn't you if your income depends on it?
It's a 1 hour and 2 minutes and 44-second video. So,
with about 5 ad breaks in it.
yes, he will be. Yeah, I can't even really. There's not really much I can say on top of what I said there.
Belts made for you by Dan.
One of my favourite things about Jim Cornette adverts is basically how he basically breaks every fucking rule in the advertising code. He basically will tell you things about the product which you absolutely are not allowed to claim.
Yeah.
His co-host, I believe, what's his name, Brian Last, is constantly just sitting there going, Jim, you can't say that. It's not true. It will not cure cancer. Jim cannot say that. Jim was sitting there and be like, oh, if you have this bed and you can't sleep.
Yeah, the bed.
Cancer,
I love the bed ones.
It'll cure your cancer. It's like, Jim, you can't say that.
It'll cure every ailment. It's like, no, it won't.
Again, he's from 1970s, from a different time.
Yeah, it's just like those old adverts on the 70s in old TV shows. Buy one, get one free. You buy one, you get one free.
Now, if you buy this item, you'll get 72 of them for free. It's like, Jim, you can't say that.
Right,
well,
I'm done. I'm going to go to bed in a minute.
Alright guys, well, thanks Russ for coming on. Thank you Tom for coming on. I hope you guys enjoyed the 2000 Rats at the Beach. It's been fun talking to you guys, fishing up with you, Tom, and also Russ. Any last
It's
words?
been fun. I haven't spoken to Tom in a long time.
Yeah, same here. And any last thoughts, you guys?
Nah, it's a good show, apart from Vince Russo going off on one, and Hogan. But no, apart from that, it was fine. It didn't offend me.
Match of the night was almost certainly the opener. In a genuine critique of it, is probably the best match. Probably the first match.
Yeah.
But again, as Russ eloquently explained, that is what it's designed to be. They know what the best match is likely to be, so they put that first.
Yeah, but Booker versus Jarrett was absolutely fine, and it sent the people home happy.
Yeah, it's good for Booker to have won that championship belt.
I do think we're giving the people of Daytona a bit more credit than the natural Southerner in America instinct of basically, if Jeff Jarrett wins this main event, I'd be very angry. It's like, no, they won't be angry at all. They'd be like, I do not want Booker T to win this main event.
Well, to be fair, Tom,
if it was in Alabama, maybe, but
all I like about is wrestling, Southern wrestling, and NASCAR.
Yeah, so I believe I can't have it, but basically, obviously, the Southern wrestling fan in America is probably a bit more discerning about the colour of its champion. is more what I was getting at, but
right.
But yeah, so sorry, Alonzo.
No problem. Well, guys, thanks again for coming on. Means a lot. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Rudy, thanks for being in the chat. And,
cheers, Rudy. Take care.
Yeah, we'll talk to you guys soon. And have a good weekend. And take care, everyone. Bye.